What's up, fam? What's going on? Guess what time it is? It is time for Donald Trump and Joe Biden to step in the ring with some rules. But they're going to step in the ring and they're going to be having a debate tonight. And we're going to have it right here live. And who do we have with us? We have Night Crew co-host Big Ron. What's up, Big Ron?
Evening, everybody. Thanks for joining the show tonight.
Today we had some unfortunate news to find out that our brother was going through a major surgery, and as he was saying his goodbyes, it was one of those, I could only imagine myself getting ready to receive anesthesia and going through an operation of some sort where there's a % chance you're not going to wake up and survive through it. It had to have been scary, but let's start off the show with some good news. Big Ron?
Good news is he's still here.
Yeah.
He's still here and raring to go. He came out of anesthesia, and the first thing he wanted to do was go live. I swear to God, that man is nonstop.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's the Joe Lanou that we all know and love. As Joe Lanou definitely, he appreciates all the people listening, all the people who have been saying nice prayers and stuff and holding him up, hoping that he's okay. And that is a great relief tonight before we even start this politics stuff. You know, looking at a brother in need is a brother indeed. And so Joe Lanou's okay. So we'll be looking forward to him coming back. If he comes back tonight after a major operation like that, it would just be, I don't know. So, surprising would be the word for it.
Oh, no, I completely agree. That man's unstoppable. He's a beast.
It's like a machine or something. But before we get started up, I'm going to show a little Jimi Hendrix song. I don't know how many of you like Jimi Hendrix, but this is a little Hey Joe.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
You're listening to Kingdom Radio.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so.
Hey, Joe, where you going with that gun in your hand?
Joe Biden, corrupt and unfit to hold office and must be impeached.
Hey, Joe, I said, where you going with that gun in your hand?
Every responsible gun owner agrees. We should limit how many rounds a weapon can hold.
What a stupid shoot my lady. You know I caught her messing around with another man.
They got one of the greatest ratings in their history, and they're going to close the guy out.
You know I caught her messing around with another man. That ain't too cool.
Let's go, Brandon.
Joe Brandon, I agree.
What
a stupid shoot.
I heard you shot your woman down. You shot her down.
Joe Biden deserves to be impeached.
What a stupid shoot.
There's been nobody that's protected the Second Amendment, as you know, like I have. I've protected it through thick and thin, not easy to do.
Trump being on there and the audience was like laughing and cheering him on.
What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay?
If somebody can say that there's never any election fraud anywhere, this is obviously also false.
The Second Amendment, like all other rights, is not absolute.
More people are on to him and his behavior than they were before.
Really interesting and entertaining.
So nobody we don't care about that. We care about our reparations.
Do I believe Biden won? Yes, I believe he won.
You voted?
I did, actually.
Do you regret that? Do you regret that? Do you regret that?
Rick, where'd you get a hand grenade? I don't know.
Has the Bill of Rights and the Constitution of the United States red flag because they're dangerous documents.
We should reinstate the Sullivan's ban on high-capacity magazines.
What a stupid son of a bitch.
I want to say something. I want to put it out there. If you like it, you can take it. If you don't, send it right back.
The killing is incredible. They were walking into people's homes and killing people. They had no protection. Said go out and buy guns. People went out and bought guns, and it went way down. The numbers went way down because they had security.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal. People know me. I'm very important.
You're listening to Kingdom Radio.
So people don't want politics in football. They don't want it.
Right. No, we want our reparations. $3 million per person. $3 million per person. $3 million per person.
I don't know, buddy. $3 million per person. I can see why Gavin Newsom is so popular in California. I just don't see how that's even possible, bro. Big Ron.
Yeah, sorry about that. Was messing with a different station.
Yeah. Yeah, $3 million per person reparations for people in California. You seen the end of that video?
Yeah, we've had a couple discussions on the back end about this whole thing, and you've got a state that never owned, with people that live there that never were. It's bad juju. It's not going to fix anything. It rolls back to that. If you teach a man, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach a man a fish, he eats for a lifetime. Giving anybody, regardless of who it was, and our friend Carl had a really good post today on X. And if you guys aren't following Carl, make sure you look him up. He's a great follow. Sure. Had a really good post today on that whole situation. That man is wise beyond his time to listen to him talk. But I think in general it's a bad idea. Morgan Freeman said it best. It's time to live and let live. Quit referring to me as a white man, you as a black man, and just refer to each other as men and women, and things would be a lot better.
True. Yeah, just the whole reparations thing. I mean, it's kind of not to say that topic is, it's really a hot topic, and a lot of people are scared to even talk about it. But it kind of reminds me of we're going to take care of all of your education. We're going to wipe out and cancel student loans and debts from colleges and stuff like that. It's just like a desperate attempt to buy people's votes. It doesn't solve anything. It just buys people's votes in a sense where you say, I want to reelect him so that way I might win the lottery and have my student loan forgiven. It just, I don't know, man. It just kind of, it hits pretty flat with me.
Well, you see them forgiving all these student loans, but whose student loans do you not see them forgiving?
Whose student loans not forgiven?
Yeah, I'll tell you whose student loans aren't forgiven. I'll look at my youngest son. He went to welding school. They're not forgiving his.
Oh, trade school, you mean?
Trade schools aren't forgiven. They're only forgiving those that got a degree in whatever. Evening, James. Great to see you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and we also have Nightshade. Would you guys rather live in California a week or watch CNN for a whole entire year? That's a good one. That's a good one, dude. Which one?
That's a great idea there, Nightshade, using the post 9/11 GI Bill. I've actually still got all of mine. I didn't find out until I was almost retired because things are kept secret. Then I could give it to my kids, and I didn't know that, and so I've got this post 9/11 GI Bill that I'm never going to use because let's face it, I'm less college and more bourbon at my age.
Yeah, he said that. Yeah, I don't know. To answer your question on the live in California, I've been to California this year, and I was there for like 3 days, and it was like 3 days was like plenty of time to see everything I needed to see, and I didn't want to come back. But yeah, I'd probably live in California for a week, even though it was terrible. They had some nice hotels you could shelter yourself from it, but CNN, oh my God, it's just the communist news network, the propaganda that they spill into the United States of America is what makes us, only one generation from being a communist country. Is the propaganda that's spread on stations like CNN, fake news CNN, or MSNBC. That kind of stuff is just ridiculous. But moving on, he said the student loan issue seriously pisses me off, and he's seriously buying votes, and gullible, stupid Redditors are gobbling up. I know. I was in the Air Force too, brother. He said he joined the Air Force to pay for his school. I never used the GI Bill, but I did join the Air Force.
Yeah, I never used my GI Bill either after 20 plus years in the Navy.
I didn't even use the loan, the home loan.
I used my VA. I bought my house under my VA.
Mine at the time, it was like it was a maximum. This was like a 90 fucking 2000 or something. It was a maximum of like 200,000 or something. And I'd bought, I think it was 2002. I was trying to buy a house, but it was 250 versus 200, and it just didn't work. And then now I know it's higher.
Come out of that extra 50 out of pocket.
Yes, something besides zero down, or whatever.
Besides zero down. So I got real lucky. I bought my house in 2015, right before the inflation started, and I picked up mine for $186K in a nice area with my GI Bill, and now with inflation and Joe and all that good stuff, it's they're calling 390 to 420. This house just ain't worth that.
Yeah, well,
buddy,
Vet LTC. I was in the Air Force. To answer your question, Big Ron was proud to be at sea in the Navy,
and gray and underway, baby.
Yeah, I believe Vet was an Army veteran. What's up, Vet? You there, buddy?
Yeah, I agree with you, Nightshade, about that interest rate. I got real lucky, and that's part of the reason why I haven't even thought about selling my house, because I'm locked in at a super low VA interest rate on my house, and there's just no way I can justify selling this house, dumping that interest rate, and going to 11 or 12%. I just can't do it. It doesn't make sense. Anybody who does it, it doesn't make sense to do that. I'm not here to give financial advice, but it doesn't make sense.
True. Yeah. So yeah, he was a crew chief on a A-10 Ward Dogs. That's Big Ron's like area of expertise, is airplanes.
So I got a great story about an A-10. You're gonna like this, Nightshade. So when I was in China Lake in the mid 2000s, they had 4 A-10s come through that were doing some bombing and gunning runs out there. I'm in the same situation. Had some doing some bombing and gun runs out there because, as you know, China Lake, California, is the biggest bombing range in the U.S. It's so big that other countries come out to China Lake to bomb our ranges. It's also one of the only ranges that have active targets that will actually engage the aircraft, so the pilots can really hone their skills. But off subject. So the A-10, one of the A-10s came back and they had blown a hydraulic line in the starboard wing, or port wing. I'm sorry. So the Air Force was going to fly a whole crew out. Some guy to remove all the screws, some guy to remove the skin, some guy to remove the hose, and then they were going to have to take it back and get it fabricated. So the Navy does things a little bit differently when it comes to things like that. Instead of having single people to do everything and then a crew chief to kind of sign it all off, the Navy, like one guy can do it all. So I went out there and pulled the skin, pulled the pipe, went over to our AIMD, which is an intermediate level that can build stuff, built the hose, put it back on the jet for them, and the crew chief and the pilot test ran the jet, flying colors, sealed it up so they can go back out. The beauty of this whole story is not only did I get a coin, for those of us that know what military coins are, not only did I get an A-10 coin, but the pilot opened up the belly and gave me a casing out of the Dragon. So that is one of my prized possessions, is I have a casing out of the bottom of the A-10. And one of my favorite aircraft. Now, I've worked on multiple platforms in my whole life, but the A-10 is definitely one of my favorite.
Wow, look, you two are just two peas in the pod. We need to get Nightshade a link so he can come over here. We can talk some planes. Yeah, I was actually in the Presidential Honor Guard.
That's a hell of a toothbrush holder there, Nightshade. Hell of a toothbrush. I'm gonna have to get you my link and everything, dude, so you and I can hook up. That is awesome. My bad. I know we're kind of way off topic right now, but
no, we're good, dude.
My background, Nightshade, is F-18s. I've worked on every variant of the F-18 from the Alpha Plus all the way up to Lot 35 Foxtrots. I've dabbled in Cobras, a little bit of A6 or EA6B Prowler, which is what the F-18G is now. It replaced that aircraft. I touched a Harrier. I'll never do that again. Some P3s, which are going away, and played with some 707s. That's an interesting backstory on that. But yeah, you and I are going to have to hook up, man.
Yeah, he said he has.
I wish I had a 105.
Yeah. That's his baby. Look at that. A-10s used to fly directly over my house in Tuscan twice a day, right next to the base. As Jesse.
I've got a buddy of mine. I'm not going to say which buddy it is, but I've got a buddy of mine that's actually got a Blue Boy practice bomb hanging from his ceiling.
Sounds like a buddy that you communicate on, what is it called?
Signal.
Signal, yeah.
Oh, he's definitely on Signal.
Yeah. We all communicate on Signal. Well, yeah. So I have some videos over here. One thing, as we're getting closer, we're going to have it live. I'm not sure exactly what channel we're going to stream, but we're going to stream it. There's a bunch of different channels streaming. Will just be another one, but some live commentary. We're going to have plenty of people and a lot of different views that are going to be on here tonight, talking about the President Trump and the Joseph Biden debate and everything like that. But before we go too far, Big Ron, can you tell us the rules of that because Trump said, I'll go anywhere, anytime, and even in the behind enemy lines in Atlanta, Georgia, that's where it's going to be. And there's rules, and then now there's a delay. Tell us about it. Let's get up to date on what's it's all about.
So as the last time I checked, and I get what the former president's saying. He's basically making himself available to any and all so that we can get a really good interaction with the man. But as of the last I heard, is CNN is doing a 1 to 2 minute delay in the broadcast, so it's not live. It's going to be 1 to 2 minutes delayed, and that's going to allow them to do whatever may or may not need to be done with any kind of editing. Because with today's AI and today's software, there's a lot of editing you can do in 60 to 90 seconds. I didn't realize how long 90 seconds was until I started working behind the scenes with Joe and the night crew on Night Court, and you call that 90-second timer out, and it seems like 90 seconds is a really long time.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 1 to 2 minutes, so that's 60 to 120 seconds for them to do any kind of editing. They're not going to allow any reporters from any other news agency except for CNN inside the building. So you're not going to know if there's anything going on in that 90 or that 120 second time frame. So, I already feel there's a lot of shady stuff going on, and we all know Biden's probably already had every single question for the past 3 to 4 weeks at Camp David.
Oh, he's been practicing all week. But one of the most strenuous and most difficult things that he's been practicing apparently is this standing up for 90 minutes. Now, wasn't there some kind of rumor about they're possibly trying to get a couch or something so they can, kind of mimic what a nursing home experience would look like?
I'll tell you what, though, my age, I'm more and more kind of want that nursing home experience. I'm getting tired of this working every day in the heat. I'm not, that kind of blew my mind when I think it was MSNBC that brought that up, that one of the things he was practicing was standing up. I don't know about everybody else that's listening or how many people we have listening right now, but standing up is something that I do every day. I'm on my feet, 10 to 15 hours a day, every single day out in the heat. If we have a president that is unable to stand up, then we might want to rethink who it is embarrassing. You're right, Nightshade. We might want to rethink who our.
Hold on. Let's jump off the gas just for a second, because I know a badass MFer, a politician actually, and in our home state of Texas, he's the governor, and he can't walk, but he is paralyzed in a wheelchair. But he is very cognitive, and he is a very good leader. Having the ability to walk doesn't mean whether or not you're a great leader. Greg Abbott proves this day in and day out. It's just Joe Biden is losing his faculties, losing his competence. He's unable. He's not as sharp as he used to be. And this decline is so obvious. He can't even walk. And they were saying, you can't even walk, you can't be president. I think that's an unfair correlation right there. But
I get what you're saying. I do. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm not getting at.
I know.
If you put Governor Abbott and Joe Biden in the same room, regardless that Governor Abbott's in a wheelchair, Governor Abbott would still have the stamina to be able to stay awake for the entire 90 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Versus Biden, I think we're going to have a hard enough time. There was talk that they wanted to get rid of the podium format and they want it to go to a seated format. Nice big plush chairs, maybe even bean bags. I don't know, to be able to do this debate because of Biden's inability to stand up. There's so many things cognitively that this man can't do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
That you know, they had. I mean, I'm sure we've all seen the video of them having to physically pull Trump off a stage when there was some sort of an incident going on. They had to wrestle that man off a stage. If the same thing was to happen to President Biden, a good breeze would take that man off.
I mean,
stage.
he's gonna trip off the fucking stage if he knew which way to get off the stage anyway. So you already know that's what's up. Speaking of which, here I have some videos of Trump actually making it to Atlanta, Georgia today, and then I would like to talk to you about Trump's little legal problems that are in Atlanta, Georgia, and what the certainty is. But this is Trump landing, and his plane is nicer than Air Force One, actually.
Maybe.
No.
I mean, I'm sure interior-wise, it's probably a lot nicer because he's customized it. But I'm sure that Air Force One's got some perks. That Trump Force One does not.
Yeah, Trump Force One. I guarantee that Joe Biden did not get a reception like this, bro.
No, he did not. They showed Joe Biden showing up, and it was probably a handful of people, maybe 10 or 20, and it was probably all staffers out there with "Go Joe" signs or whatever they said, and then that was it.
A couple hecklers. They said, "I'll give you $100 if you just hold this sign up for 5 minutes." And then it's no secret that he gets into his little motorcade here, and I got a little video. Of him in the motorcade. Obviously, it looks like there's no sound here, but have you ever seen a presidential motorcade pass you?
I have actually. I was actually lucky enough a couple of years ago to have. I've got a picture. I'll have to dig it out. I've got a picture of Air Force Two landed at NES Jax when Vice President Pence flew into Florida, flew into Jacksonville more specifically to do some work down here. So I got a real good picture of Air Force Two flying over and the presidential motorcade there, or the vice presidential motorcade.
Actually worked and retired from Air Force One from the Air Force. When you're in the Presidential Honor Guard, that was like a step out. My buddy Buzz spent his whole career there and finally retired. And the other ones would work at Pentagon and different things. But shit, I've been at probably 40 ceremonies at the White House when I was younger.
Yeah. Never got a chance to go to the White House. I've actually never even been down to the White House. Funny thing is, I've been to DC multiple times,
but never got an invitation for the White House.
Yeah, never got an invitation to the White House.
Interesting.
Wasn't really. I didn't really care for the person that was in the White House at the time.
Brother Bill?
No, it was not Brother Bill. It was it was the other one. It was old Barry Soetoro. When he was in the White House. So funny enough, it's the only presidential signature signed item I have on my wall too is by old Barry.
Oh, Nightshade piping in again. I think the ISGAF is IDGAF. He did correct on this next one, but I think it stands for I don't give a beep.
I'm surprised he didn't put Dilligaf. That's a nice military term right there.
He said he saw Trump speak on May 1st in Saginaw, Michigan, and it was wild. I mean, Michigan, man, that's oh look, it's Vet. What's up, Vet?
What's going on?
What are you drilling something, bro? I'm sorry I didn't see you there.
No. You're good, brother. I'm just getting some yard work ready for my daughter's birthday party.
Oh, that was a weed eater?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, did we put you back on mute, or are you ready to hang out with us? I don't want to interrupt my honeydews.
I can hang, man. I can hang. I can mute myself though. But no, my bad. When you asked me, I was in the Army, man. But yeah, the A-10 is one of the baddest planes out there. I love it the most. And yeah, I don't think old Sleepy Joe is going to be awake long enough to even make it through this damn debate.
No, they got to give him a shot in the ass, like on fucking what was it? The State of the Union address.
Oh yeah,
he looked sharp, bro. I mean, but then what was it like? A couple of days later, they found that cocaine in the White House. Remember that? That was the second time they found it back.
It's just an adrenaline.
Or
shot.
no. It was that day or something. It was that night or something. They found the cocaine in the White House again for the second time, and then he was all hopped up. I'm not saying that he's doing that. I think Adderall might be or like vitamin B for sure. But I don't know how they got him hopped up. But like Big Ron, he has like some firsthand experience on his inflections of excitement to low tone. That he thinks that's definite proof of.
He's got a major swing where he's angry, loud, aggressive, and then it drops down to this real whispering. You got to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're gonna go behind the building. We're gonna get ourselves some corn pop, and then after we get corn pop, we're gonna go out there and there's like there's no different stage to the guy. I mean, he swings from left to right.
I got to bet.
Oh my God, Dave.
Over 10 times that he gets incoherent. He doesn't know what he's talking about, and he has to pause for a second. On 10 at least.
Yeah, this is the rest of that one. This is Trump like walking, into Georgia. I mean, that's him walking in the room. If you haven't seen that one. Yeah, did you see that there's a bingo game for tonight? Let me see where the hell.
I know I posted a bingo sheet in the night crew back channels that we have.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've got the same one, Kingdom. The one I have has got for bingo. It's got Hunter Biden.
Oh, here it is,
Awkward
right
chuckle, January 6th. Empathetic hand gesture. I don't know if you can post that on the.
This one, do you see it right here?
Yeah, I see that one. That's not the one I have. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Let me DM you the one that I have, and you can throw that one up there.
Let me see the one you got, Kingdom. Let me take a look.
Yeah, so this is the bingo chart that's brought to you by Fox, and they're saying, yeah. So awkwardly long pause. It's almost like a drinking game too, but fake news, yelling inappropriate times. I mean, whispering to the microphone. Come on,
there you
man.
go. Check your back channel, Kingdom.
All right, let me see.
If you took a shot every time fake news or Joe Biden saying, Jack, yeah, you'd be drunk by the end of the night.
I'm already 3 glasses in, brother.
Oh no, he's drinking the nice bourbon.
Yeah, I just finished off my bottle of 1792, and my wife, my beautiful, lovely wife, brought me home a fresh bottle of Woodford Reserve with a pair of
Hold up, bro.
acid Cuba cigars.
Is this is the same Woodford Reserve that I drink?
Yeah,
that's made here in my home state. That is my
get
favorite.
out of here.
Yeah.
It is,
the only
I
thing
put the roof on the distillery.
Oh,
You
that's
did?
awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The only thing
those
she didn't
barrels
buy me.
coming in is so good. Just smelling them so good. The barrels coming in. Oh my God, it's a different smell. Sorry, Ron.
Nightshade, he said he
you're
likes
fine.
that Cuba. That
Cuba Cubas are nice, man. Nice Robusto cigar with the Sumatra wrapper. Awesome.
Fuck, dude. So yeah, here's a little something we can listen to, and this is like a little a bunch of clips put together of people. This is the last time that Trump was president. This was all the people who were saying no way he was gonna be president. Check this out.
I am officially running for president of the United States.
Could he actually win?
No freaking way!
Which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Donald Trump.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump.
Trump will not be president.
Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
You're not going to be president.
A man who will never be president of the United States.
Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States. Take it to the bank.
He will never be president.
Donald Trump is not going to become president of the United States.
She's at plus 19. Do you think the tapes made a difference? Of course! They made all the difference!
This race is over.
Hillary Clinton has raised more than double Donald Trump, vastly outspending him.
The presidency at about 89% for Hillary Clinton.
Your analytical model has never been wrong. Now projects Hillary Clinton to win presidential election.
100% chance. You still think she has a 100% chance of winning the election?
I do.
And what would Donald Trump have to do to turn things around?
Prayer and hope for a Festivus miracle.
Coverage of election night in America. The fight for the presidency.
Because we don't care. Oh, okay, have Kentucky. Who cares?
Kentucky.
Don't care about Indiana. Don't care.
Indiana with
It's West Virginia, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Mississippi, South Carolina, Alabama, Kansas, Nebraska, and Wyoming with its vote, North Dakota and South Dakota, Texas.
Up and down the middle of the country, all red.
Arkansas, Louisiana, the state of Montana, Missouri.
Yes. It was at 80% an hour ago for Clinton.
What is it now?
68%.
Okay, God damn it, I'm nervous.
Ohio.
Hold. Ohio, gone.
Idaho.
Okay, yeah, I don't see a fucking landslide here. I don't see it at all.
North Carolina.
God damn it, if we need Florida, are you shitting me?
Florida.
It is fucking panic time.
Georgia.
Donald Trump, now the favorite to win the presidency.
Iowa.
New York Times now has it at 95% chance.
Utah.
Can still win, but in order to do so, she has to win Wisconsin. God damn, fuck.
And then there's that. And then there's that.
That's one of my favorite mesh-ups of the presidential election. I think one of the funniest things was that they had old Barry do a Saturday Night Live skit where they were talking about that, and he made the comment that at least he was an American president. So I think that really burned his chaps when that it didn't age very well for him.
Nightshade said, just don't share those cigars with any others if you have a humidor.
Yeah, I used to have a really nice humidor there, Nightshade, and my cat that has reached her expiration date and is no longer with us.
Sorry
As
to
she
hear
was,
about it.
yeah, it's been a while. We had to put her down a couple of years ago. She was starting to lose bowel movements, and
yeah, there's a lot of straight guys with a cat. Don't worry, keep going.
Yeah, it's my wife's cat. It was a Japanese cat.
Okay.
So I got some stories about that. So
Yeah.
she had peed the floor one night.
Oh,
And which no big deal. I mean, mops are made. My whole house is ceramic tile, but she had peed the house one night and completely saturated my humidor. So she destroyed my 350 count humidor that was full of cigars. But no, I would usually store my Cubas up on the top rack of that humidor, only on one side, just because, like he's saying, they actually would contaminate the other cigars that I had in there with their flavor, because I think they do add a bit of flavoring to them. So yeah, if you have a humidor, I would not suggest store them close to any other cigar, or buy small humidor strictly for your acids.
wow. Okay. Well, there you go. What else do we have here? I have. What do you think about Stephen A. Smith?
I don't really know. I'd like to welcome Fidgety to the show.
Yeah. Fidgety. What's up, Fidgety? She was actually on the show with us talking about Karen Reed.
She was. If you guys aren't following Fidgety, go ahead and give her a follow. She's a great follow. Extremely intelligent woman. She's got some really great views. Go ahead and give her a follow.
And she's from Georgia.
She is. She's one of our Georgia peaches.
Yeah, she's from Georgia. 350 count. Ouch. Yeah, in Georgia. Speaking of Georgia, I have a little Fulton County action. Oh, look, you're making her blush. Here's a little Fulton County, because Trump is in a little bit of hot water in Georgia. Let's take a look at it right here.
Going to jail like a mother. A large group of ballots came in. I think it was to Fulton County. And they just happened to be 100% Biden, even though Trump won the military by a lot, a tremendous amount. But these ballots were 100% for Biden. And you know about that? A very substantial number came in, all for Biden.
No, it couldn't be me, not me.
That was a part of the recording from the recorded Trump speech where he got all these RICO acts in Georgia.
This whole thing is just throw pasta at the wall and make it stick. You know that as well as I do, Kingdom.
Yeah, I know, but you see the Young Thug is also in Georgia, and they're having a hell of a time, man. This DA's office that's ran by Fannie Willis, God, man, it's like, not only is there no justice for this type of, there's just no justice in the justice system whatsoever in Fulton. If you're not friends or somehow liked by, Fannie Willis. And it's not just President Trump. This is like high profile rappers too. It's like there's just RICO trials are just there. And one of the most interesting things is, how the hell do you put the person who created and shed light on RICO trials? Rudy Giuliani gets a RICO trial in Georgia. It doesn't make any damn sense.
No, it doesn't. And there was I think it was it Right Side Network? One of those networks just had a show on where they had a large gathering, I think it was of a black caucus, that had the chance to sit down with the former president and ask him some questions. And one of the questions they brought up was, how do you feel that you've been falsely accused by the legal system, and that a lot of the black vote is sympathetic with you now that you're getting hosed by the justice system like they have? And his answer was pretty solid, basically acknowledging that they're getting hosed and he's getting hosed. And I think that's going to help him out a lot, being able to bond, so to speak, bond with them on that situation where you have, and that's part of the reason, when I met Joe, that really made me, kind of latch on to Joe, was he told us a lot of stuff in those first couple of shows that I met Joe, about how the system works, and how, the colored people do get hosed with the legal system, with the way the laws are written, where on the face they look very equal, but when you go deeper into them, they are not. So I think President Trump did a good job on that. He answered all of his questions very, very honestly or earnestly, from what I could see. And the caucus that was there talking to him seemed to be very impressed and pleased with his answers. So I think this year we've got a really good chance.
Yeah, here's a live look into the room where the CNN presidential debate is going down.
I look at this room and I see that scene out of Star Wars with Obi-Wan Kenobi looking down on Mos Eisley's. Never has there been a more villainous.
Yeah. Remember when there was the what was it? The State of the Union address by Joe Biden. And then after that one, Tucker Carlson was like, he was right up next, and he had all of these. He was just talking about the debate, and Trump was on Truth Social, and he was kind of making comments throughout the debate. But I have a clip here where Tucker Carlson, he interviewed our buddy here from Texas, InfoWars, Alex Jones. You familiar? You a fan of his?
I'm not really so much a fan. I've seen some of his stuff. I think some of his commentary is kind of funny. I think the one that cracks me up the most is the whole gay frogs thing. I understand where he's coming from.
Did they shut him down? They were talking about shutting him down.
So yeah, I guess the FBI is trying to shut him down, and I guess that usually when that happens, you're kind of over the target. So the whole thing with Alex Jones is not about him paying his just rights for what he said. It's literally about silencing the man. And on a side token here, Fidji, I did see that. She needed to put that crusty old thing away. That video I saw with that left one just hanging out and flopping around, that was things that make you go bleh.
Bleh. Do describe more, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
So this judge that she's talking about that was just reprimanded or dismissed from the cage was being arrested, and her left breast was just flopping around all nasty and crusty, and she was attacking the police officers. Yeah, it was bad juju for her.
Damn,
is that the correct case I'm thinking of there, Fidji?
Yeah, Fidji doesn't have a comment right now.
She's probably still in the bathroom yakking after what I just described.
I know. So here's a little small clip from Alex Jones, and this is we did this live. This was on our live show right after the State of the Union address. Here it is, right here.
Wow,
Alex Jones, let's do it.
Great Alex Jones.
Wow, this is fire, man.
I can do as good as you, but I'm blessed to be here. Great crew, great people, great to be here with you.
So just give me your big picture assessment of that.
I gotta say, because we didn't even meet before we went on air. I was downstairs writing notes, and you basically said everything I was going to say, and so did the doctor. But you asked him a question out of the gates. You said, "Why do they lie so much? They think we're dumb, or what's going on?"
Yeah,
they want to tell so many lies that you don't have time to counter them all. Because it would take 5 hours to counter all that. I mean,
I gave up in my note taking.
Yeah, everything was a lie. And I mean, the biggest one was like, yeah, this woman got killed by illegal alien. We're trying to stop that. I want to shut down the border. He said, when I win, immediately surge the border. And then they had the big NGOs, the State Department that funds the UN NGOs, have all the illegals come up here. They have UN camps in South America and Central America and in Mexico. And he's running it all. He says, come here. They show up by the thousands in Biden shirts. So he's like, I'm so sad the illegal aliens are killing you. And many of them are convicted felons, a large portion. And then he's acting dumb and saying, oh, no, I'm really sad. Illegal aliens are raping and murdering citizens. So just that little window there, he's playing the good cop to his own globalist policies. Everything that the State Department, the Victoria Nuland's won. And you're absolutely right. First, he comes out and says, Trump is Hitler. And then he moves on to Ukraine. So it's not about the dying cities, not about the fentanyl and the needles, the illegal aliens everywhere, and the homeless everywhere. It's all about
Infowars.com.
That's their big model to distract us and also launder money. So this is a very, very dangerous moment for America. And your last guest was dead on. He and the whole establishment is so emblematic of a rotting, collapsing facade that knows the people have turned against it and is just pure rage. All the fakeness, all of the pop and circumstance has been stripped away. And now there's just this seething ancient dinosaur. In fact, I was watching, earlier during the State of the Union and then sitting here watching you earlier, I was thinking, how do I start this? I want to say, it's like we're in a time machine looking back on the age of the dinosaurs, the Paleolithic or something, or something. I mean, we're looking back because time is compressed now. So we're here looking at a dying, corrupt, dead political empire that hates America and is trying to use our power to take over the world. And it's already gone. The world's turning against
Look at Tucker's
Great
face.
Awakening's here. All the numbers show it. And they're trying to hang on. And so we're looking back at Jurassic Park. We're looking back at the dinosaurs. But instead, the dinosaurs are trying to claw us back into hell. I mean, take World War II. Operation Valkyrie.
I mean, I could listen to him for a while, man. He's very entertaining, but some of the stuff he says, like, way out left field, bro. That's way out left field.
They're making the freaking frogs gay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my best Alex Jones impersonation.
Do we have a left breast? What do we have here? What do we search for to see this?
I saw it on the Twatters earlier.
Judge in Georgia. Images. I don't see. Was there a video or something? Is that what you've seen?
Yeah, it was a video that was on Twitter. I can't remember exactly where I saw it at, or saw it on X. My apologies. I saw it on X. I'm seeing if I can find it here real quick, and if I can, I'll shoot it over to you.
Yeah, well, you can find all your real news on X, by the way, everybody. And hopefully we'll make it through tonight on YouTube. And I have a breaking news. I got Joe Lanou. He just texted me, and he said that he would like to join the debate tonight.
Well, I know we'd love to have him. He is our host.
I know.
If he's feeling up to it.
I know, dude. I'm like, huh? Yeah, I mean, yeah, shit. I mean, you all right? So anyway, old Alex Jones. What is this one? Oh, Stephen A. Smith. Back to what I was saying. Stephen A. Smith. He's on ESPN. You know who he is?
I don't watch any ESPN.
You hear him on ESPN. It's him. And he's the black guy who's probably one of the best sports commentator, talk show kind of guy. And then he has this other guy at the time, and they would do a bunch of racial back and forths and everything. And Stephen A. Smith would just be beating this guy up on a day-to-day basis. And it was, I don't know, it was fun, I guess. But whenever he's talking about sports, is always kind of identifying the racial aspects of this and all this other kind of stuff. That's what ESPN has kind of become I don't know, for in my opinion. But this right here is Stephen A. Smith, who is now, it seems like he's a Trump supporter. He was on Howard Stern. You listen to Howard Stern?
I used to.
Me too.
Not so much anymore. But let's not forget that ESPN's owned by the giant rat. So I'm not surprised that they lean that way.
Here's a little small clip from Stephen A. Smith talking about he would love to debate Donald Trump, and he tears his ass up. Let me check.
Ever run for office?
Hell no. Hell no.
You know why?
No.
You're making a lot of money.
That's right. Right
doing
there.
Your thing.
Stop right there. If it wasn't, listen, I'm.
Hold on. You've never seen this guy, Stephen A. Smith?
No, I think I have. Now that I see him, I think I have seen him.
Yeah. No, check this out.
I'm not going to give up. I'm on Howard Stern show, man. Let me be very candid. I'm not giving up my quality of life to earn $400,000 a year and be stressed every day. It ain't happening. Okay, so
that's right.
It's that simple to me. Can I confess to you, though? I will. People going to call me crazy. Obviously, I have my show First Take on ESPN every weekday morning, right?
Yes.
It's a debate show. I would love to be in a presidential debate. Nothing.
I think you do great.
Oh my! No, I'd eat him alive.
Yeah, but you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't run for the presidency, but I'd debate Trump any day of the week. Any day of the week. Name the time and place, and I'd show up.
Trump would smoke his that. What the hell is he talking about?
You know, a lot of these shock jockeys get on there and they want to commentate because they think that they're going to be able to go into these debate and it's going to be all talking points. And, you know, we kind of saw that a little bit in the first couple of debates that we had with Trump when he was on the stage with the rest of the Republican Party. He didn't have as much knowledge about what was going on as what a lot of the other politicians did, for the fact that they're politicians. So they had that background knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But once he became president, I think his eyes were open massively. I mean, he's admitted it that he'd made some bad choices with cabinet members just because he didn't understand the way the government worked. He thought he was going to be able to go in there and clean things up and make everything all hunky-dory. That once he got in there, he realized it was a lot more or a lot worse than what he initially thought it was.
Yeah, Nightshade said that he lost all respect from Howard Stern after the Biden interview. What a pathetic scumbag. He bent the knee. I think it was way before that. It was even before Hillary Clinton. I mean, he was like hardcore Democrat from the beginning. I mean, I followed him to Sirius Satellite Radio when it first came over, and I was a truck driver at the time. So driving all the time, and this new terrestrial radio, and then they had this satellite radio, and how cool it was. I mean, I was down for it. I didn't care. It was $5 or $10 a month or whatever at the time. I thought it was great. And Howard Stern, being able to listen to him, and then you can listen to actual radio and hear people cussing and things like that. I mean, I thought it was great. But definitely in his older age, he is definitely doing like most of Hollywood and, just leaning towards the Jimmy Kimmels and leaning towards all these Hollywood actors who are getting paid to say Joe Biden, like a fucking Goodfellas. What's his name? Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro, yeah.
It's like, come on, dude. I like a lot of those movies that you're in. Just go off in the sunset. Don't do anything stupid like Dylan Mulvaney lights. You know what I mean? Just don't do any stupid marketing like that for Joe. I mean, do you really think that this guy is ready for another 4 years? I mean, how much are they paying you to say this shit? It's ridiculous. But yeah, Howard Stern has lost my interest the first time when it was Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. It's just impossible to listen to that part of his show. And then as soon as the coronavirus happened, and and he's all, you can't even touch your groceries without scrubbing them with fucking Dawn dish detergent and all that shit. He's like they kind of taste like soap, but it's okay, so it doesn't have coronavirus. Like, dude, you've lost me, dude, completely. But looks like Nightshade's on the same one. Do you think Joe Biden is going to get some questions like, "What's your favorite ice cream tonight?"
I don't know if he's going to get that kind of a softball question, but I'm sure that the questions that he gets are going to be very positive spun for him, and then they're going to turn around and they're going to give Trump questions that are going to be very, demeaning towards him, to where no matter how he answers them, he's going to be wrong.
Yeah, Yeah, if you've seen that CNN town hall in New Hampshire, Trump made them look ridiculous. I mean, we put in, that was I believe it's the #1 video on Kingdom Radio YouTube. I think it was 150,000 people had viewed it that first day. But yeah, that CNN town hall with Caitlin Collins, I mean, he just made them look ridiculous, dude. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, the CNN town hall is the absolute best, dude. Yeah, we have that one. I actually have a clip from that one, but the whole entire thing was just gold, absolutely gold.
Well, you know, a lot of these town halls, you'll get, the current president will go in there, and all of his questions are softball questions. They're tossed at him. They're pre-rehearsed. He's got the people he's going to call on. He already knows the answer. Versus Trump, he'll wade into a crowd of people and just start taking crazy questions. You saw it the last time he was out. He walked into I think it was a hot dog parlor, and just people were asking him off the wall questions, and he would answer them. He used to do it when he was president. He would walk up to the line of reporters before he would get on the Marine One and answer whatever question they had. There was never a need to wonder what the former president was thinking, because he had no problem with voicing his opinion and wearing his opinions on his sleeve. I remember Biden saying that, part of his presidency was he was going to be the most transparent administration there ever was. And we all know that's hilarious.
That's me and my cousin, Rock and Roll Rebel. The Rock and Roll Rebel show said he'll be on here, but I did a little Photoshop from Weekend at Bernie's and put Biden's face on it. Anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I just got a message from one of our co-hosts for the night crew with Joe Lanu. Grizzly Greg says that there's going to be no Rumble tonight. It's strictly going to be on X in the tubes.
Well, I can have it on Rumble. He kept asking me, "What's about Rumble? What about Rumble?" Rumble, it's on Rumble right now. I just started streaming it just now.
Okay, well then I stand corrected.
So if you want to watch this stream on Rumble, we're on Rumble. We're on X. It's on Joe Lanu's X. It's on Kingdom Radio Texas X. It's on Joe Lanu's YouTube. It's on Kingdom Radio Texas YouTube, and it's also on fastest booked Facebook, I would say, Kingdom Radio Facebook page. And look at this. It's also on, what is this? Big Ron. It's also on Big Ron's X account. So you can see it everywhere. Anywhere you can find propaganda.
Anywhere you can find the propaganda. And for everybody that's watching, because as I scroll through the different things, I see we have over 200 people watching on Joe Lanu's station. Don't forget to like, share, follow. Please leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm. Let's get this out there. Let's get this promoted.
Yeah, 100%. Let me see if you're looking for that video for the presidential debate, I have CNN Town Hall. Let me see. Kingdom Radio. Yeah, so it's right here. It's on Kingdom Radio. I'll just share it with you really quick. But yeah, this one right here.
Return to the White House, and he is currently leading the Republican field while also facing multiple criminal investigations and an indictment. Just yesterday, he was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation. No questions are off the table, and we agreed to no conditions. We're here to get voters the answers that they deserve. Our audience is made up of Republicans and undeclared voters who plan to take part in New Hampshire's Republican primary. They'll get the chance to question the former president directly. These voters and the issues that they care about the most will help decide if former President Trump will get a second chance to take on President Joe Biden. Please welcome the frontrunner for the Republican nomination, former President Donald Trump.
So if you want to watch that, you can always go to Kingdom Radio Texas, our YouTube page, and I have the full live CNN town hall. I also have the full CNN town hall with Vivek Ramaswamy, who I'm hoping that's going to be the vice president of the United States. What do you got on that one, Big Ron? Vivek Ramaswamy.
You know, in the beginning, I wasn't too sure about him, but honestly, I kind of like Vivek. I like his
What part
views
didn't
on
you like
things.
about him?
You know, honestly, he reminds me a lot of Trump with his with a lot of his policies and the way he looks at things. He has a lot of the same beliefs. Right now, I think the three that we're looking at is I think it's Vivek.
Okay.
Is it Scott? I want to say is the other one.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember for the life of me what the woman's name is, the female's name that oh boy, is it Tulsi? I think it's Tulsi Gabbard might be the third one.
Yeah, no chance she's getting it.
No. I mean, I think that Vivek or Tim is going to be a good idea. I'm sorry. Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben's too soft spoken. I don't see him in Trump.
That dude is wicked smart though.
Wicked smart.
Wicked smart. And Trump needs a yin. That's the problem. That was what Pence was. Is Pence was the yin to the yang. You've got to have the accompaniment to be able to smooth those edges out, because Trump is really a bull in a china shop. Regardless how you look at it, he's going to go in there and he's going to put his thing down and he's going to start breaking shit. You've got to have that other side, that accompaniment to be able to smooth that out.
All right, let me ask you a question. I like Vivek Ramaswamy, and I think he would be a good vice president. And yes, it's like an echo chamber, but a lot of these guys, like you were mentioning, or Vivek or anyone really, these guys would make great Secretary of State or other positions inside the cabinet or the administration of Trump, because especially like Vivek, his thoughts of just wrecking the system and building it, a new one, or just completely getting rid of some of these three-letter agencies, that is like radical thinking. But when you say, okay, you feel like that, most people, you'd say, okay, well, what would you do about it? Most people say, oh, I don't know what the fuck I would do about it. But he acts like any question you ask him, he's like, boom, boom, boom. Okay, what I would do is this. I mean, he has it all planned out. Very few times you'll talk to someone who really has shit figured out and could implement something to be in charge of it. Vivek Ramaswamy is probably one of the strongest candidates I've ever seen. But the reason why a lot of people don't like him is because they're not really a Joe Biden supporter. They're just an anti-Trump. They're like, you like Trump or don't like Trump, which reminds me of the 90s and the like fucking New Kids on the Block and, hanging tough and shit. You're like, oh, I don't like them. They're gay. Really, it was just, all the girls liked them and you're a little jealous, You know what I'm saying?
Yep. So Fidji says that Vivek hasn't had the most successful has been the most successful businessman. That's her biggest concern.
She wouldn't mind Carson. She likes
her and Nightshade both like Carson.
Oh, really?
And then Q is saying he can't get the live stream to work on X, so he's going to have to watch on Tubes.
Which one? Which one of the three are on X?
Yeah,
it's on 3 different X channels. It's streaming right now to 3 different X channels. So if you can't find it on Big_Ron, there's also Kingdom Radio Texas TX, and there's also Joe_LNU Lanu.
Nightshade. I agree with you to a point that with as soft spoken as he is. But I'm sure with your background, just like mine, and Kingdom's here also, we've seen people that we have thought of as soft spoken or timid, and when they're put into a leadership position, they come out of their shell and are able to take the reins and take charge. So he may be one of those people. Trump obviously knows him a lot better than we do. So maybe the former president sees something in him that we don't see in him, or that we know about. I'm not streaming Rumble. Kingdom, are you seeing Nightshade's comments on the Rumbles?
Good question. Let's see here. I'm trying to figure out where. Oh, this is right here. Let me pin this. Yeah. Talk for a second. Let me look and see. Open up my Rumble account and see where the hell this is. I'm surprised he found me.
He did handle the hate that he got when he was handled HUD, and I thought he did a fairly good job with HUD. I think what part of the problem is government wide, and it doesn't matter who's in office. If it's going to be if it's going to be the former president gets reelected or if it's going to be the numbnuts that's in there right now.
The shit, grandpa, diaper change break.
No matter what happens, it's going to have to be a Band-Aid pull. You're going to have to go in. You're going to have to gut the system to fix it. It's unfortunately it's gotten that with a lot of different things. Diaper dummy, exactly. That was from our friend Fidgety. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a fairly big Disney fan. I like Disney in its core, as in Walt, but not what it's become. But that's the only way to fix Disney is the same way. Is you have to physically go in and pull the Band-Aid, and it's going to take a lot of gutting, and that's what you're going to do to the government. It's going to take getting rid of a lot of people. I know the former president was able to implement an executive order that allowed him to get rid of civil servants. And I think that's part of the problem is that we're too bloated. We need to get rid of some of those civil servants. Any of us who know how the government works knows that there's 5 people to do the same job and 4 of them are in management and one of them is the person that actually does the job.
Right. So it's like a road crew, isn't it?
Yeah. You got 5 guys out there holding the sign and one person actually doing the work.
I know. It's like, I need a job doing that shit, standing around. Like looking at chicks in traffic. Yeah, the Rumble, to be honest with you, I have this weird something I have done from a long time ago. I really don't go into Rumble that much. I can stream it on Rumble, but going over there and creating your own picture and stuff. We've been doing shows every single day on the Karen Reed murder trial, and we haven't really been on Rumble talking politics that much for the last 2 months. But it's all about Trump. The election's getting closer and everyone wants to know about it. And that's the reason why we're here tonight, giving our time and wanting to give some comments. And we invite anybody, if you go to Kingdom Radio TX on X, that's the platform I think is the future of social media and news for that matter. I have and on my YouTube, I have a link to the stream if you'd like to come onto the stream with us and everything. But and then you can watch it directly with us. Tammy says he loves them. Looking at chicks in traffic. Oh, Roger says, also the bad part of those civil servants have a union and it keeps them from being fired, just like the Phoenix VA debacle.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, Roger. When I was younger, I didn't know much about unions. I had aunts and uncles that were in the unions for Ford and Chevy. Living in Ohio, there was a lot of Ford plants there.
Oh.
I think unions can be a good thing if they are run properly, but in the bigger scheme of things, they're just, you keep bad workers in place.
Yeah, well, like the Massachusetts State Police is a great example.
Yes, great example. I mean, who needs real people when you've got red Solo cups and freaking Safeway bags?
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, my cousin, dude, Rockin' Rebel, he's coming on with us. He's like, send me the invite. And I was like, bitch, I sent you a fucking email like an hour ago. Anyway, we'll discuss some stuff with him. He's my cousin. I don't give him no slack. But Rock and Roll Rebel Show, we actually started, doing politics and stuff is where we started doing podcasts together. And then Joe Lanou, he did our very first ones. It was me, Joe Lanou, and Rock and Roll Rebel, and we were just kind of doing them. And then Joe Lanou started doing his own thing and doing Night Court when the guy with the radio show, and then me and my cousin, we just, I don't know, kind of. But that's how the Kingdom Radio and the collaboration with the podcast even started with Joe Lanou. And then he's got a nice show tomorrow night. If you're looking for some really cool show, I don't know if he's going to be recovered enough to do it, but the police use of force videos is like super cool. Out of all the shows, it's probably my favorite. And it's on Friday nights at 9:00 Eastern, 8 Central, and you can do the math for the rest. But police use of force videos are really good.
Yep, great show. If you guys have never seen one of our shows like that, we have a group of Leos, got a couple of attorneys, and then a mix of civilians and military, and we watch these videos and kind of Sunday quarterback him a little bit, but it's kind of great because you get the law enforcement perspective, you get the legal perspective from prosecutor and defense, and then the civilian perspective, and to see how these all worked out, if they were good, if they were bad, if they should have been brought up on charges. So yeah, if you've never seen them, come on and enjoy it. And then we're trying out a new format too on Wednesdays, is our smoke show. That we
and
do,
not marijuana, right?
Not marijuana. No, this is all about barbecue, smoking. How to set up smokers, the ways to smoke different meats, seasonings that we've all used, how to season your grill. If anybody doesn't know that, you actually need to season a grill before you use it the first time. Otherwise, it tastes like, hammered trash. So yeah, that's a new format that we've just started. We're 2 shows in. We got one of our co-hosts, Vet LT. He's done a couple of smokes. We've got another one of our co-hosts.
Oh shit! Look who it is.
Johnny Cochran, as Kingdom likes to call him. He just got
Johnny
done doing
Cochran.
He just got done doing a pork shoulder tonight. And then B Wayne here, one of our other co-hosts.
So B Wayne,
he's done a couple of briskets too. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen the smoke show, come on in. We're all in there. It's a great time. We answer questions, take advice. So
yeah. What's up, B Wayne?
Not much. Looking forward to this debate, though.
Hell yeah, man!
It's a monumental one.
Too bad it can't be VP. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I like Vivek Ramaswamy. I think he's probably my favorite at all. But yeah, what's been going on, B Wayne? You hear good news that Lanu is doing good, and he actually wants to join the show tonight?
News about that. That's a huge relief.
Yeah,
I think he's grown on all of us a little more than we realize. And,
he's like a dog, you just get used to having him around.
just like a dog. Yeah, no.
No, I'm fucking with you. No, yeah, Joe Lanu, it's good news that he's okay, and very good news that he is feeling good enough to jump on a damn podcast like right now. He was texting me. Let me see here. He was texting me. He was like, "Hey man, so what? We doing a space live tonight for the feed?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "Well, we're gonna do like the live feed and the space too, and maybe I could do, like Jesus." Then you just go through like
stubborn SOB. Like you can't keep him down.
No, Joe is unstoppable.
He's like, "Let's integrate a space with the." He like texted me all that shit. I was like, "Really? Damn, they got. He must be feeling good right now. A little." Open up the paths, unblock what needs to be unblocked, put some healing on stuff that needs to be healing. He's feeling good.
I know my father had a double bypass. The main artery behind the heart was blocked on his. And he said that once they put that new piece of artery in, he said he hadn't felt that good in years. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't really know too much about it. I mean, I have been a smoker for a long time, but I know when you wake up and you actually like fucking laying on your arm, and then all of a sudden your arm's asleep. It's just like, damn, just the lack of blood, how lifeless your body is without blood. It's like, oh my God, I can only imagine if there was some kind of blockage and you didn't have the amount of blood that you're supposed to have, like what, how weak that would make you, and vice versa. So. But yeah, Fidji says he just works too hard. It just works too hard. Yeah, I believe it. There's a VA hospital in Ann Arbor. Had a massive surgery a couple years ago and wound up marrying my nurse. Check out Nightshade. He married the old nurse. We'll talk about some role play. Bow, I live next to a bunch of Trump haters and obsessed Democrats. It's almost unbearable. Yeah, that's why I think you can have firearms in Michigan, right? That's not out of bounds, right?
I'm not exactly sure what the Michigan laws are. I don't think you can actually own anything in the state of Michigan.
Really?
It has to be pre-approved.
Oh, really? This is another New York situation?
Yeah, probably.
All right, let me try to get Rockin' Rebel here. He's like itching to get on, but I guess he changed his.
That's funny, Fidji. That's hilarious.
What'd she say?
She said, "Look at Nightshade advertising the VA in Ann Arbor as Match.com. You gotta love her sense of humor.
Joe says he's getting checked out by the doctors right now.
Sweet.
He'll
They're
say
not
he'll get
overnight.
And then he said that he'll get in the show in a moment, and fucking he's just getting checked out by the docs right now. You know, it's like Jesus, dude.
Oh God.
Now, I know my dad was in the hospital for well over a week after he had
I
his open heart.
misunderstood. I was thinking they were checking him out, but yeah, I get it.
No, this is different than the nurse
probing
checking
him
out Nightshade. This is they're actually releasing him from the, you know, not discharging him, releasing him from the hospital. The doctors. Totally different than what Nightshade was talking about. This
bro just had his chest cracked open today. What the hell?
Yeah, I don't think he's going home. No, he's not going home. He'll be in the hospital, I would assume, for a minimum of a week. They're gonna monitor him like there's no tomorrow.
Look at that! It's Rock and Roll Rebel Show. Thunder
What up,
Rock
boys?
and Roll Rebel Show.
What up? We are in the building, baby. We are in the building. Are we excited or what?
Heck yeah, man! There's some people in here you haven't met before. We got Big Ron. He's Air Force guy.
Oh, this is the Night Court, baby. This Big Lanu show, baby. I know. I hear you boys out there.
Lanu just is trying to get released from the hospital. He had a little surgery today. And I think he's going to be on the show tonight. I don't know, man.
Nice. I thought you told me he shot up a gas station.
No, this must have been someone else.
Oh, that's someone else? I thought you said the cop was on the rage or something. Isn't that what you told me?
No, I don't remember that. But yeah,
that wasn't you. That was a different somebody.
Another one of your friends.
Yeah, you know how we do it.
What's up, Grizzly Greg?
Not much, buddy. How are you?
Oh man, waiting for this Donald Trump and Joe Biden matchup. I wonder if this is going to look like the Sally Port video in Canton, where it's going to be all chopped up and people are disappearing and stuff, as much as they edit it with this 2-minute, time lapse.
I'm expecting actually that it's going to be pretty smooth, because they're going to use the AI, I think, for a lot of the editing. And I expect them to chop it to shit, but it's going to look pretty good. I'll bet. That's my take on it.
I think as soon as Donald Trump's his time's off, they're going to be editing the hell out of it. Or because CNN is known for saying Donald Trump speaking, there's no need for you to listen to anything he's saying.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, the 2-minute delay is standard. Every live broadcast you watch has a 1 to 2 minute delay. They do that so if someone's wearing or strips off their pants, they can shut down the show before it gets out. I don't know that they're going to be able to do a whole lot of. They're definitely not going to be able to do enough splicing in order to make Biden seem coherent. The biggest problem is it's going to be a 3-on-1 debate. I doubt that they're going to have a single coherent. I believe they're going to have a single fair question for him. Maybe about J6, election denial, his 34 convictions. I don't think they're going to give him a fair shot at all.
I've never been aware of a 2-minute delay, Bruce. I've seen 20-second delays and 30-second delays and maybe a minute, not 2 minutes. 2 minutes on air is a long time.
Oh, look who we've got in the chat, everybody.
It's
Joe.
Oh wait, we got Brother John too. What's up, Joe Lanu?
Why did that say private?
Yeah, look, we got Brother John. Oh, Johnny Cochran. Johnny Cochran.
I'm with you on that one, Greg. I've seen a 10 or a 15-second delay to allow them to dump. But 2 minutes, I think, is a little excessive. With that being said, Bruce might know something that I don't, because I'm definitely not that deep into broadcasting. So 2-minute may be standard nowadays.
I don't know if it's standard for news networks. I think Steven Crowder, he runs a 2-minute. I think a lot of streamers run a several-minute delay. But I don't know exactly what news networks usually run.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Drugstore Cowgirl, welcome to the show. You're welcome to have your own opinion. That's great. You're more than welcome to voice it. No one's is gonna push back on you for it. So thanks for coming and enjoy the show.
Yeah. Him's having a panic attack from our ignorance and bigotry.
Well, we could say the same thing.
Yeah. Well, testing 1 2. We got the Rock and Roll Rebel Show. Thunder Dan, bro, what are we expecting tonight? You've been, I'm telling you, I'm talking about someone who follows politics. If you've seen the Rock and Roll Rebel Show, he's almost on every night talking about, what's going on in the news. And, there's a little conspiracy theory, but a lot of it's on Trump and politics and stuff. What's going on, man?
Oh, baby, I'm living life. Yeah, I mean, this debate here, it's definitely going to be geared towards Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? They're going to lead him. Like, Trump's going to say something, and then Tapper and Bash are going to come in and be like, oh, that's misinformation. They're going to mute his mic. But I don't think they can make it a total shit show like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's sort of going to start out okay. Hopefully they don't give us like the first 45 minutes with like abortion and all that lame stuff. We want to talk policy. We want to talk gasoline prices. We want to talk inflation, immigrants killing American citizens, stuff like that. But it's just gonna, you know what I'm saying? This is just a show for the people to make them think they got a choice. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we don't really have a choice. You saw what they did in 2020.
Do you think there's a chance of that again? Do you see Michigan was saying that all votes are final? Wasn't that Michigan that the politician did that? All votes are final. There's no way that you can contest the election or whether it was legitimate or nothing. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. And then also, I think there's a state the other day that just kicked out Dominion voting machines and said that they were just too much for being able to be hacked and all that. I think it was Colorado. I think it was Colorado, the state.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it's like Gateway Pundit had it out there, but you don't see that type of stuff on the news. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't see like today, like I guess 6-3 at the Supreme Court, that the government can now lean on big tech again to censor freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? They want to talk about the abortion stuff. They don't want to tell you that the government now can lean on Facebook and all that, which we already knew they were doing. I don't know how much longer X is going to do it, but X probably does it to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Elon can't be there 24/7.
I'm surprised at when Trump went to go visit Elon, and then Elon was pretty public about, look, he visited me, but I'm just here to let you know I didn't make any campaign contributions in any direction. I'm not financially supporting any candidate. But after Trump went to this, got these felonies, the 38 or 32 felonies or whatever it was, Elon Musk has been very vocal about, against what's been happening to Trump and about Joe Biden. Don't you agree? Here lately on X.
Oh, 100%.
And the border crisis and what Joe Biden's response is. I mean, Elon Musk has been pushing back. To my surprise, I thought he was kind of neutral, but now it looks like he voted for Joe Biden last election, but it looks like he's kind of leaning towards being a Trump supporter, if you ask me.
Yeah, it does look that way, but I don't know if he'll say it out loud.
Yeah,
I thought the last election that Elon came out and said that he was voting for the former president for the 2020 election. Yeah,
no, he voted for Biden.
Did he vote for Biden?
Yeah,
he's on record with that.
He's on record with that. Yeah, I have it on that video that we played with Hey Joe, whatever. It was like, didn't you vote for Joe Biden? He's like, yeah. And then the next question was, do you regret that? It's like, good question.
Yeah. Looks like drugstore cowgirl was pulling our leg there, Kingdom.
I know. Drugstore cowgirl's like, the whole drugstore cowgirl. I could tell by let me see. My wife's boyfriend is also upset as well.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
I can't stress this enough that I'm in California. Hear me roar. And then
didn't even see
what
that.
He said, your rights end where my feelings began. I know that was just another.
Yep, that was
Trump
it.
2024. Just trying to make a good joke here.
We're 7 minutes out. We're 7 minutes out.
Yeah,
is anyone going to turn it into a drinking game? I saw the bingo cards out there.
You seen the bingo?
Yeah, I seen the bingo. Like Joe shits his pants, stuff like that.
Oh, really? Is that the one you were talking about, Big Ron?
There's one that I shot to you. You should be in the
Where's
back
this
channel.
at? This is on a message?
Yeah,
DM.
I'll find it.
Oh, here it is. Big Ron sent a photo. Ooh, I like this one. Let me show it real quick. So this one?
No, it's a bingo card.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. What are some of those categories? What does this say?
We got awkward chuckle, forgets name or place.
January 6th.
Empathetic hand gestures. What? There's not a come on, man?
No, I got
Come
the
on,
one.
man.
I got the one from Fox. And let's see here. The one from Fox has here it is. Now, this is the official Fox bingo card. Speaking into muted mic. Democracy is under attack, definitely. Come on, man's on there. Insurrection, Hunter Biden, Crooked Joe, convicted felon. We're gonna hear about Trump being a convicted felon. I mean, 100% that Joe Biden's going to be bringing this up, and I know that it was July 11th is when he goes to sentencing. What you got that one on, Rebel? I haven't talked to you since then, or since that happened.
Now I don't know if they're going to bring up January 6th and all the Trump indictments because Robert Hur.
Right, dude.
They're going to bring it up, but Trump's going to be like, "What about Robert Hur? You couldn't even be, you had documents in your garage, and you can't be prosecuted because you're old and feeble and you fall down all the time." So I don't know. It's going to be a balance there. Somehow they're definitely going to talk about it, but I don't know if they're going to mute Trump's mic on that, go to commercial. You know what I'm saying? It's a fine line, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of people tuned in, so it's going to be very interesting how they address all these certain things. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want this information getting out. And like, remember that first debate? Trump was talking about 10% for the big guy Hunter's laptop, all that. Dana Bash, whose ex-husband was part of the 51 people, she's moderating. Jake Tapper called Trump a Nazi. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, it's stacked deck. I don't know how it's going to go down, but it should be exciting. I'll be curious to see how it goes down.
Yeah. Fidji says she likes the felon and not the diaper dummy.
I'll vote for the felon all day, too.
All right. So there you go. Yep. What's up? We got FTF on here.
Hello.
Hey, French. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you what, we're catching up really quick now. We're between the Joe's channel, your channel, we've got a good number of streamers. We're definitely gaining on Tim Pool at 122,000.
Yeah, we got 321 right now active.
Old beanie bastard's got that many watching right now. Damn him.
I know.
he's opposition though. I think he's paid.
You think so?
Probably. They all are. I think once you get that famous, and then the ones they can't control, they ban. Yeah, like my boy Lou Valentino, stuff like that.
Yeah, what's up, John?
How we doing?
Well, man, I just checking out your backdrop there, bro.
Yeah,
Trump train.
Hell yeah, dude.
Funny thing, my son's got that same flag hanging up in his room, or had it hanging up in his room.
Yeah, he's got like the World Wrestling Federation belt on or something too.
Oh,
I like that. Didn't even see that. Yeah,
you're very observant. King.
And then the Rock and Roll Rebel, I see a firearm.
What's up?
And a Redskins helmet. Come on.
Yeah. Can we even say that anymore? I love the Redskins, baby.
Yeah, I think if you're from the area, of course it's Redskins. Washington Redskins. That's where we're from, actually. Big Ron or everyone. We're from the Northern Virginia area. Is where my cousin grew up. And then now he lives in South Carolina. And I live in Texas. But it all started in the capital of the South, in the Richmond, Texas area, Northern Virginia. And we got a little hail to the Redskins right there.
You think Trump and Biden shake hands?
I think they did before, didn't they?
There was some stuff that I saw online where they were advising him not to do that. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, he's still concerned about the coronavirus protocols, right? With shaking hands and social distancing.
Could be.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we got a poll here. And this poll is, who is more trustworthy, in your opinion, Dr. Pepper or Dr. Fauci? So this is an interesting fan. I'd love to hear your comments.
I mean, there's only like 6 people that drink Dr. Pepper in the whole world.
Just what are those 23 ingredients?
Exactly. Hey, look who it is. It's Joe LaNue, everybody. What's up, Joe? He's joining from his phone. What's up, Joe?
Yeah, he couldn't move his studio to the hospital. They wouldn't let him.
We have Dr. Pepper. We definitely have one vote for Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I didn't know we were voting. Yeah, Dr. Pepper.
Sadie Girl has Dr. Pepper. We also have Castafan is going in for Dr. Pepper.
What's the vote?
Hey, what's up, Joe?
Well, I tell you what, folks, I've had a heck of a day, but I will tell you that I actually feel pretty decent. I think we might have had some success today with this medical procedure.
Did they let you get a cigarette in there?
No, not yet, but the night's early.
Yeah, well, hey, Dr. Pepper isn't a serial killer. That's a good point, Fidgy.
Great to hear your voice, Joe.
Yeah, it's good to hear your
vote
voice.
Was between whether you trust Dr. Pepper or Dr. Fauci.
Right. Well, who's more credible?
Dr. Pepper has been around for many years, and I don't think he's killed anybody directly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But like Dr. Pepper, the coronavirus has 23 flavors.
There you go.
Ingredients.
Yeah. Another little jab in the arm will do you.
That's right.
Yeah, them kids don't need to go to school, man. Just keep them at home. They'll be fine.
I am jabless. I am 100% pure grade A. I am not a mudblood.
Rock and Rebel, you got a jab, didn't you?
No. I would never do that. I'll never be jabbed again. And kids didn't get jabbed. You know what I'm saying? And I advise against that jab. It looks like the jab killed more people than the COVID flu did.
Oh, Joe, Laura just peeked her head behind the curtains and she said, "Tell Joe hello from me." And I was like, "What'd you say?" And she just had a big smile on her face. "Tell Joe hello from me."
Love me some Laura. Love all you guys, man. In fact, I love everybody that's listening out there. I've had unprecedented support from you guys. And it very heartfelt and helped me get through it. So I appreciate all you guys. But I want to go back to Rock and Roll Rebel. He said, "I won't be jabbed again," meaning you took it the first time?
No. Again, ever. No more jabs. No cold flu, no shingles, none of that stuff. It's all bad medicine.
No tetanus shot every couple years.
No more vaccines for kids, infants, none of that. Zero.
Come on, Rebel. The shingles is in all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I'm good. I already had
it. Oh my God, I'm looking forward to this, and I hope it's not, like I said, like a Sally Port video from the Canton Police Department. I hope it's not all chopped up where they just, anytime Trump says something, they just chop it up. Hopefully, it's not like that.
Here we go. It's starting.
I'd be prepared for the screen to be flipped and the time to be inverted.
Yeah, you're like, all right, you're a 10-second warning. Oh shit, you're out of time. You're like, whoa, what happened to the 10 seconds? So we're editing.
I mean, we could have in stride AI every time Biden does something that's unfavorable. CNN could break in and say this was manipulated and altered by AI. He didn't actually say that.
True.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah, and it's interesting that the fake news capital of the country, Atlanta, Georgia, is where fake news communist news network is located, where this is being held, is in Atlanta, Georgia. And then Fox, their national headquarters is also in a blue area in New York. So a lot of the news is in blue areas.
Hey, one of these moderators,
are we able to pull the debate up?
Wasn't her husband tied to something with the Russian disinformation mess, or am I thinking of somebody else?
I don't know. You'd have to say a few more words before I could think about what you're thinking about. That's pretty vague.
But ain't you thinking about what I'm thinking about?
So I don't know if I'm thinking about what you're thinking about.
One of the commentators, her husband had
something
something
about to shake hands, and there's nobody there.
With, oh, here we go.
Hopefully, we don't get kicked off.
I don't know what they're going to do. Freedom of use information.
The 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump.
So they're not going to shake hands? Is he going to go over and shake hands?
He's going to shake his hand. going to be huge.
There's no reason for
Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. Let's begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
Take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me.
Oh, my.
We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%.
I think he practiced too much. He lost his voice.
So what we had to do is try to put things back
Is he
together.
going to blink?
That's exactly what we began to do. We created
He's making up stuff. I mean, he says it wasn't that serious. He created a whole new vaccine, and there was a bunch of things that Trump did.
There's more to be done. There's more to be done. Working class people are still in trouble.
More people die.
I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of a household where the kitchen table, if the things weren't able to be met during the month, it was a problem. Price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing.
That's just when you hit your friend Corn Pops, he give you a little loan with a VIG on it, and you make it through the month.
Problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing.
He's not yelling, so I don't know if he's on Adderall.
2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents.
Yeah, he's like low, you know what I mean? Low tone.
But he looks like he's reading from a teleprompter to me.
In addition to that,
you think that question's cold?
If you take a look at all that was done in his administration,
he already pre-know the questions. You know that.
By the time he left, there was chaos.
Super monotone.
Literally chaos.
Yeah.
And so we put things back together. We created, I said,
like a robot.
jobs. We make sure we had a situation.
Trump gonna eat him up.
We brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major
People
issue.
think he can live 4 more years?
$15 for an insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs.
Man, I can't turn him. Can you turn him up anymore? I really can't hear this guy.
No, it's full blast, dog.
Sound like he's whispering in your ear.
Yeah,
and that's what we're going to get done.
He's getting ready to take a shower with Ashley.
We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID. And when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for, and we should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country.
Good job bringing up the bounce back jobs.
Thank you, President Biden.
I thought he did pretty good with that.
The greatest economy in the world. He's the only one.
Let's get ready to mumble.
He had the greatest economy in the world. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that we found ourselves in a
that juice
situation
ain't kicked
where
in.
His economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has.
He's proud of that, too.
He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant, and the military.
Did the government tell everybody to stay home?
When he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can.
You want allowed to respond to him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of power for other things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back. And he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what
like
they were
drunken
doing.
sailors.
Probably the worst administration.
I resemble that remark.
There's never been.
I know.
And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt, while so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block.
We will not let him answer that question.
Yeah, we're not going to let him answer that
question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very
I like
wealthy.
this Godfather thing.
What
Like,
I'm going to do is fix the taxes.
oh, my daughter's wedding.
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires.
He's going to lose his voice by
What's
the
happening? They're in a
debate.
situation where
they got trillionaires and billionaires.
Die on stage.
if they just paid 24%.
Did you guys see the secret sauce link that I posted?
It made us $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with.
It's starting. It's starting.
Yeah, he's early.
If
what the?
We finally beat Medicare.
Did they not juice him on purpose?
Biden, President Trump.
Just cut him off. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly
Biden just had a moment,
destroy
dude.
Social Security. These millions and millions of
He had
people,
like 4 of them.
they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will.
Is he
wipe out
resetting?
Social Security. He will wipe out
That's a reboot.
Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And
They're
it's
gonna
a
have to shoot
shame.
him in the ass
What's
at the
happened
commercial
to our
break.
country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected.
They've got
They-
somebody in the
they
back with a
don't
blowgun.
like us.
Tui.
Give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Tana?
This
Hell
is the
yeah.
first presidential election since the Supreme Court
Biden's
overturned
getting
Roe v.
fired
Wade.
up.
This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban.
You've had these questions for
Former
2 weeks,
President
Joe.
Trump,
Come on.
you take credit for the
He was in
decision
Camp David for
to
10
overturn
days.
Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would
Plan
you
B.
block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it.
The right
And
move.
if you look at this whole question
Right
that you're
move
asking,
to support the
complex,
institution.
but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people
Does the
don't.
president
Follow your
look like-
heart. But you have to get elected also. And
He's about to
because that
fall
has
over,
to
it
do
looks
with
like.
other things. You got to get elected. The problem they
Hold
have
there,
is
BS
they're
Bros.
radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing.
I haven't heard him cut anyone
The
off
fact
yet.
is that
Must
the
be
vast
the
majority of
AI.
counselors and scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe.
Oh, I
And
think
that
they
was-
went pretty
this
hardcore
idea
with
that they're all
their
against it is
rules
just
on this.
ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks
They must have a
you don't-
time clock
you
right
don't
in
even
front
know
of
if you're
them.
pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to
Because
the
of
funeral.
Biden's open border
And
policy.
It looks like
idea
he's
that
reading a
she was
teleprompter.
murdered by an immigrant.
It really does. He
I mean,
looks at
and
the same spot
to
every
talk
time.
about that. But here's the deal.
That may be why
There's
they
a
didn't
lot
want
of
any outside
young
reporters into
women
that
being
building.
raped by their in-laws.
I hope
I'm
Trump
surprised
calls
Trump
him.
doesn't say it. Yeah, call his ass out.
Well, hold up. Is that the terms? There's nobody in there but
It's
CNN, Donald
They can do
Trump, and
nothing about it.
Biden.
Yeah,
There's
no
one
one
White
else
House
is allowed.
pool
Thank you.
reporter in there. Just one White House
Been
pool
many
reporter.
young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border.
There you go.
We have a border
Thank
that's the
you.
most dangerous place
Trump is
anywhere in the world.
hitting it out of the
Considered the most
ballpark right
dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and
Yeah,
these
Joe, there
killers
was
are
also
coming
talk
into
that
our
they were going to
country,
copyright
and they are
strike any of these
raping and
streams too.
killing
So
women. and it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it
That's
is
why
now
we
back
have
with
to
the
give
states. The
commentary
states are voting.
protected by the First
In
Amendment
many
commentary,
cases,
and
it's
Elon Musk upheld
frankly a
that as
very
well.
liberal
Said
decision. In
he
many
wouldn't take
cases,
any
it's the
streams down that are
opposite.
commentating.
But they're voting, and it's
Yeah.
bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what
YouTube's
everybody
different,
wanted,
but extra safer
including
than
the
most.
founders, if they knew about this issue,
Yeah, my
which
channel's
frankly
still up
they
on
didn't.
YouTube, so they
But
haven't
they would
struck
have.
it yet.
Everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan
And
wanted
Rumble.
it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden,
They're
7
killing the
states.
abortion topic.
Yeah.
I'll let you do that.
Look at his
This
face.
is the same topic.
He has to
7
take a
states
poo-poo.
have no legal restrictions
Yeah,
on
I don't
how
think they
far
choose
into a
them for this.
pregnancy a woman can
No,
obtain
obviously
an
not.
abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I support Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. First time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The
That was
third time is
redundant,
between
wasn't it?
the
3
doctor.
trimesters.
I mean, be between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do.
Trump
And
looks
if
like
I'm
he wants to
elected, I'm
smack
gonna
the shit out of him
restore
real
Roe v.
quick.
Wade.
Yeah.
He can
Trump's waiting for the
take the
kill
life
shot,
of
I
the
think.
baby in the
Oh,
9th
there's
month
the hand.
and
There's
even
the
after
hand. It's
birth,
gonna be
because
huge.
some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican.
Joe
Nobody
Biden's gonna
wants it
blow
to
up.
happen.
Yeah, he's
That
about
is
to blow
simply
gas.
not true.
Turn his microphone off.
Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only if a woman's life is in danger, she's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period. Period, period.
I don't
Roe
think
v.
he knows
Wade,
his own
you have
policy.
late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
There you
51
go. There you
years, that was
go.
the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very,
He
very
already said he
conservative.
wouldn't sign
Is he
that.
going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President
They got
Biden,
him off.
a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that,
The Border
we found
Patrol
ourselves in a
did?
situation
They got
where
a pay
when
raise.
he was president, he was
Oh.
taking
I think it was the
separating
Border
babies
Patrol
from the
Union that did it.
mothers, putting them in
Oh.
cages, making sure the families were
Because I thought
separated.
the border, they were
That's not
fighting
the
them
right
in the
way to
Senate.
go.
And they were saying,
What
I'm
I've
not
done
listening
since
to the
I've
White House
changed
or
the
Joe
law,
Biden.
what's happened? I've changed it in a
We're
way
going to
that
build that
now
wall.
you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of this. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we have the safest border in the history of our country. All he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere, all over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president.
Scott,
Brandon, just speak
12
to him.
minutes into the debate, it's already over. They're
We
going to
had
have
the
to replace
safest border
Biden
in
when this is
history.
over.
Now we
You
have
ain't
the best border
lying.
in history.
I think
There's
that's why
never
they
been
did this on
like it.
purpose. Didn't
And
drug them
people are
up and
dying
just
all
gonna
over
hang
the
them.
place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al Qaeda person come in his
What?
administration,
What?
kill three American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're emptying their prisons. We're
What the hell is he talking about?
It's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's
El
exaggerating.
Salvador's
lying.
emptying out their prisons.
President
Yeah.
Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you
Even
said
if-
you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed three people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the two greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists
The three
anywhere in the
people is
world.
those two
And
people.
it had a huge impact on everything, not just
Who's the
border,
third?
on everything.
I don't know.
He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying and also killing our citizens when they come in.
Biden was
We are
awful,
living
bro.
right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in
They
New
can't even
York,
show 'em
in
on TV.
California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these three incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't
Joe's
know.
like, what is he talking
opened the
about? They
borders.
didn't tell me
Nobody's
about
ever
that.
seen anything like. And we have to get a
This
lot of
wasn't
these
in my
people out,
debate
and we have
prep.
to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking
Get 'em.
care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten
I
rid
agree
of
with you,
all the things that
Killmister.
I
I
approved.
100%
Choice
agree.
that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in. And
President
it's a very
Biden?
sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Every
For
damn thing
example,
you said is a
veterans are
lie.
a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act.
Oh
1
my
million
God.
of them now have insurance.
You
and
should
their
have seen what
families
I
have
said,
it.
the corn pop.
Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq. And then he
Uh-oh.
went next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day.
Where I shit my
and
pants.
I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser,
That's a
was not
lie.
a sucker.
Oh,
You're
my.
the sucker. You're the loser.
Ooh.
President Trump?
Ooh.
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines.
Yeah.
He made that up.
Now look
He
somewhere
put it
else
in
before I smack the
commercials.
shit out of
We've
you.
notified him.
Trump
We had
composed himself real
19
good
people
there.
that
Made
said I
Biden
didn't say it.
silly.
And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like
We're
the
at almost
51
500 people on
intelligence
X.
agents
Yeah,
are
it's
made up.
629
Just like
listening
the
right
new
now
thing
live.
with the
Thank you.
16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It
Ooh, got
wasn't.
him.
That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
Four-star general
Yeah, that's
standing
right.
your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right. Thank you so much.
I 100% disagree
Topic
with
of
that.
foreign policy.
Yeah.
I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former President Trump, Russian
And I'm sure
President
fake news is
Vladimir
agreeing with
Putin
all that
says
shit.
he'll only end this war
It's gonna be curious
if
how they
Russia
clip it.
keeps the
Oh,
Ukrainian
he's doing a great
territory
job
it has
making
already
Trump look like
claimed,
an idiot.
and
You
Ukraine
call him a
abandon.
sucker and a loser. What happened?
And our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander in chief, if that's what you call him,
How much do we
that
lose?
we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, a president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never
I'm
invaded
afraid that would
Ukraine.
be Gavin
A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple those
I'll
numbers.
tell you what's funny is
He did
whatever
nothing to stop it. In
staffer
fact, I think he
is
encouraged
twittering
Russia
on
going in.
Biden's
I'll tell you what
Twitter
happened. It
account
was
right now
so
is
bad
getting
with
flamed.
Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned. And so he's got no love loss, but he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we
Somebody
left
made a comment. It's
billions
like,
of
this is
dollars
so
of
weird. I see you
equipment
talking
behind.
on TV.
We
How are
lost
you tweeting
13
this?
beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take this was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded
If I was
in a
president.
million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything, no money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is,
Yeah,
we're in
I
a
already
situation where
reported
let's
the
take
Joe
last one
Biden
first.
account. I said he's been
Iran
hacked by
attacked
somebody.
American troops,
I reported him
killed
twice.
caused brain damage for a number of these troops, and he did nothing about it. Recently, not when he was president, they attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place. Number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish, Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. Wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
Yeah, thank you. The
President Trump,
teleprompter, I'll turn it off.
For 1 minute, I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine?
No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been
You got
anything like it.
580
Every
listening on
time
your
that
channel, Joe.
Zelensky comes to this
that's
country, he walks away with
703
$60 billion.
total.
He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands.
That's one of the
and thousands
bingo
of people.
ones. I'm not sure which
And
one.
he
That's
has
one of
made
them.
one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one.
He already said he ended it the day after Trump got the convictions, remember?
Security Council, straight through to the G7, to the Israelis, and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward, which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one.
What was the phase where they had to level it into a parking lot?
To get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened?
That's an advanced phase, dude.
That's my favorite phase.
Was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well.
That phase comes right before my favorite phase, opening a glass mine.
Providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack.
Intercontinental?
No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed.
Look at this dumb motherfucker.
We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone.
Trump's just laughing his ass off.
So they're 2 different things.
Trump has had exactly one gaffe.
Yeah, if anyone has this guy sign in his yard, he's fucking taking it out right now.
Like we did Bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been
Honey, go get that sign out of the front yard.
Yeah.
How are we going to spend this
though?
though?
But you've got to be.
Oh, he's doing a great job. That's what fake news CNN's going to say.
Population centers.
Population centers.
So many. Back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent $100 billion, or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
And there's
He never heard so much
$120 billion
This is
to
the guy who wants to get out of
Ukraine
NATO.
in the
He
last
wants to
quarter.
get out of NATO. The idea that we have our strength lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but we're ever able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine. And
What? Nuclear what?
In other places.
Oh, my.
See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking
I think he's just following the
about. By the
talking
way,
points
I
he's
got
supposed to
50
talk
other
about with the
nations
individual
around the
question,
world
not listening to what Trump's
support
saying.
Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world peace. No major.
It looks like he's reading a teleprompter, if you ask me. He's looking at.
President Trump, just to follow up,
He was at Camp
would you
David for
support
10
the
days.
creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this. I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question. Would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time? And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy.
True
Former
story.
President Trump, I want to ask you about January 6, 2021.
Yeah,
After
January
he rallied
6th.
his
Let's
supporters
do it.
That day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutional
Fake
mandated
news
counting
leading the
of electoral
charge.
votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and
find the pipe
inaction on
bomber yet?
January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were
Great
energy
defend,
independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds left. My question was,
election
what do you say to
interference.
those voters who believe that
Cheating.
you violated your
Stop the
constitutional
steal.
oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody.
900
I said
people and
peacefully
going,
and
baby. Let's go.
patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say.
Oh, they might
But
cut
she's
him off.
saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor in writing, by the way, the mayor in writing turned it down, the mayor of D.C.
Mayor
They turned it
Bowser.
down. I offered 10,000 because I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down.
Didn't like the
and
look.
It was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take
Yeah, they didn't
full
like the optics.
responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in the dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead,
He did, but they took the tweet down, remember?
Patriots and great patrons of America.
There's a bunch of people on X there saying that they want Joe out, and this is a hit job. They purposely did this to make him look weak.
He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. He went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said no.
Joe Biden
this
needs to be
guy-
playing
this
chess,
guy
bro.
is
He needs to be in a
responsible
retirement
for
home.
doing what was done. He did do a damn thing.
FT, I don't know
These
if he can
people
handle
should be
chess.
in
He might
jail,
need to go to
and
checkers.
they should be the ones who are being
I
held
mean,
accountable.
checkers.
But he
I
wants
don't
to
even
let them
know
all
if he could
out.
do that. You
Now
just
he
have to
says that he
watch.
loses his
I was
damn
thinking
sense
Go
of who
Fish.
he is.
Go Fish might
That
be a
could
good
be a
one.
bloodbath.
I was thinking
Maybe
Favre.
coloring
President
books.
Trump?
I think bingo is
What
made.
they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people when they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down
I'm literally waiting for Biden to get mad
many
and go,
other
listen here,
cities. When you
Jack.
go to Minnesota,
Yeah.
Minneapolis,
Come on,
what they've
man.
done there with the fires all
Trump's
over the
so
city. If I didn't bring in
underrated.
the
It's gonna be
National
funny
Guard,
what
that
they
city
do
would have
next.
been destroyed.
No, he's sticking
When
to
you look at
topic,
all of the,
which is really
they
good.
took over big
He's-
chunks of
he's-
Seattle.
he's
I was
being
all set to
coherent.
bring in the
And
National
I've
Guard.
noticed
They
that
heard
Trump's
that,
not very
they saw
orange
them
tonight
coming,
either.
and they left immediately.
Yeah, you're right.
What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing, the unselect committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that.
Gotcha.
If a Republican did that, they'd go to
Thank
jail.
you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right now. And
There we
the fact
go.
of the matter is,
Got him.
What he's telling you is simply not true. The fact is that
That
there
just
was
completely
no
changed my
effort on
mind.
his
I'm
part
voting for the other
to
guy
stop
now.
what was going on
Yeah.
up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, deserves to be convicted. The idea
The
that
grandma
they
with
didn't
cancer
kill
that's like
somebody, just
83.
went in and broke down doors, broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks, turned them over statues. The idea that those people are patriots, come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had, first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boys? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing,
What?
will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? Will you denounce the people who attacked that Capitol? What are you
Yeah,
gonna
it
do?
sounded good when he was practicing this shit.
I'm going to give you a
You're like, you're killing
minute,
it, Joe.
President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the select committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times.
Damn.
Should have been convicted
Trump
before,
is
but his
killing it.
Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the
10%
death
for the big
caused at
guy.
the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor.
Yeah, I think I got bingo.
Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that,
I'm waiting for the
that's quid
shitting
pro
of the
quo.
pants.
That we're not going to do anything.
is that what you
We're
have
not gonna
left
give
for
you $1
the-
billion unless you
That's it.
change
Now I'm
the
yelling
prosecutor
bingo.
having to do with his son.
They have already done
This
that.
man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you,
That was
sir.
a long minute.
You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
Yeah.
Breaking the rule.
That I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one.
Here he goes. He's
Number
getting
two,
angry. Listen
the
here,
idea
Jack.
that you have a right to seek retribution.
We'll
against
go behind the
anyone
My
barn.
son is
just
not a
because you're president
loser.
is wrong.
He died
Simply
of cancer.
No
Wrong
president
song,
ever
Mr.
spoke like
President.
that
I know.
before.
Yeah.
No president in our history.
He was a crack kid. I mean,
Number three,
what?
the crimes that you are still charged
Get
with.
right,
Think of
bud.
all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe?
There we go. We got
Civil penalties
1,400 people
for
watching. Let's go.
molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things.
Oh my,
having
the lies
sex
are
with a
popping.
porn star on the
You know what I like to
night
say?
while your
Don't forget
wife
to
was
like,
pregnant.
share,
I mean,
leave a comment.
what are you talking about? You have the morals
Joe
of an
just
alley cat.
going to cheap shots.
Take a minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it.
I think Biden just took a little
in more
popo.
money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
73 million.
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around.
Oh, my.
He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the juries will do, but I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that
they're going to lock Trump up.
Do you ever think you hear any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Do you ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run the first place after my son.
Here we go with Hitler again.
In Iraq, because of Iraq. I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People
this was a lie. This already got debunked.
Swastikas on torches, and singing the same anti-Semitic bile they sang when back in Germany. And and the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him. They said,
"Look at this.
What do you think of those people? The people the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones he said, I think they're fine people on both sides." What American president would ever say Nazis coming out of fields carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile?
Can't believe it's debunked.
Fine people. This is a guy who says Hitler's done some.
I'm surprised the broadcasters haven't said it's been debunked. If Trump would have said it, it would be.
This guy has no sense of American democracy.
Like, Joe, that was a lie.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out because when you see the sentence, it said
look at Biden.
100% exoneration on that. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville.
Resetting in progress.
It was his last chance.
Oh my Lord.
He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's ridiculous. We have a debate. We're trying to justify his presidency. His presidency, he's without question the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country. We shouldn't be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place.
Oh my God.
Every anchor every reasonable anchor has debunked it. And just the other day, it came out where it was fully.
He's got this face of he's not supposed to say that. Why is he saying that?
He knows that.
Turn his microphone off.
He used that as an excuse to run.
President Biden?
And debunk. It happened. All you have to do is listen.
He's
to
like
what
looking away from Trump.
And the idea that somehow that's
Trump's on the other direction. Look,
he's not even at the right camera. He's so trashed.
He thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those.
Randy Quaid starting to post some crazy stuff.
And he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to
I love
be president
Randy
at all.
Quaid.
And the idea that he's talking about all this.
You could never put a different person in Christmas Vacation.
We saw what happened on January 6th.
That or when he shoved it up the aliens' asses at the end of Independence Day.
I'm back.
Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 34 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why?
Yeah.
We know him well.
1,300 people watching your station, Joe. Awesome job, buddy.
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Oh, my. What do y'all think about that?
Wow, this is getting good.
Trump's doing better than I thought he would.
How much time we got left?
He's sticking, John, he's sticking to the guns. He's not over talking. He's not trying to be that bull in the china shop, and I really think that's helping him right now.
I do too.
I think people are getting to see a different side of Trump, and this is really going to help him with the election.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Trump doesn't really have to do anything. Just let Biden self-implode. It's like kind of sad, very sad.
if he would have done this on the last two debates that he did with President Biden when he was going for re-election, I think they would have turned out a lot different. I think this is the Trump that should have been in those last two debates, and it would have turned out a lot different.
Same Trump, different story. They stole 2020. Everybody knows that. But let's put a grade on it right now. If we could put a grade on it, Biden, I'm giving him what, maybe a D? And then I'm giving Trump a strong B+. What's everybody else think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah.
I'd give Biden an F. It's like very
Like
embarrassing.
he's totally done. Like they're going to replace him.
Bro,
I'll tell you
I mean,
one
they have
comment
to at this point.
Yeah, one comment I would give when he was then when he finally finished, Trump said, "I don't even know what he said." And I don't even think he knows what the hell he just said.
There's going to be great memes coming from this. There's going to be 100% great memes.
We've got
I called it meme gold mine.
Yeah,
I got a couple of comments from the chat right now where Kat says they're going to drug Biden back up in between the commercial break, and I have to agree with him on that.
Yeah, no, they're
And
just
then,
adjusting the meds and a quick diaper change. And we'll be
definitely. And then Fidji's saying that some of the rooms are concerned that Trump is just patting himself on the back. I kind of see what she's saying with that. He's definitely outlining his achievements as what he did when he was president. I don't know if I take that as a pat on the back, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think Trump's approach is brilliant right here. You know what I'm saying? He's just keeping it cool and collective, and he's just laying out facts, and he's putting all that fake news on blast when Joe's out there lying about the tiki torches and sleeping with porn stars and all that. I mean, Trump's just countering. I mean, it's like it's not even really a fight no more. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Joe Biden got knocked out 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think the whole Nazis and tiki torches and the Ku Klux Klan is coming out of the woods, and you're thinking this is going to get the black vote. I think, you're really insulting people. I mean, there is a lot of educated, black people that are looking at this going, you think this like appeals to me with you saying this? We are middle class and upper class, and we care about these issues, and it doesn't seem like you care about anything except for around election season.
What about Joe's faces, though? What about the faces he's making? I mean, he's like cooked, right?
He's only making one
Bro,
face,
that
and
face
that's
is
the
so
dementia
memeable.
stare.
Oh yeah, it'll be all over X tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
But he's I expected Biden to lie. I'm surprised that he's coming out with 3-year-old debunked lies. I thought they'd have something fresh.
No fact checking either. The moderators haven't jumped in to fact check anything.
I'll tell you what, Rock. It may just be the bourbon talking, but I'm really surprised at the way that CNN is handling this. I'm right there with you. They haven't jumped in. They haven't interrupted. They've only had one mic cut. They're not trying to debunk or fact check anything on the fly. I'm going to have to agree with some of the comments that we've seen pop up in the chat while we're watching this. I think they're really trying to make Biden look like he really is, and they're not protecting him. And and to go back what you were talking about there, Kingdom.
CNN presidential debate live from Georgia. Let's talk about persistent challenges.
Right,
You both
Are they going to debunk
faced
it
in
now?
first terms,
Very
and you'd certainly face again in a second term. President Biden, while Black unemployment dropped to a record low under your presidency, Black families still earn far less than white families.
Yeah, these are the real
Black
issues. All the
mothers
migrants are
still 3
taking on
times
everyone's
more
job.
likely to die from pregnancy-related causes.
Not migrants.
And Black
they're
Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge we
Amen.
made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small Black businesses that have been started than any time in history.
He's
Number
got no
two,
voice.
The wages of Black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time.
1,700
Number
people
three,
watching. Let's go.
Providing housing for Black Americans.
1,400
Like, share,
alone.
comment,
Joe.
subscribe.
Segregation that exists among these corporations that collude
Jesus.
to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that the impact on the
Oh my God.
choice that Black families have to make relative to childcare is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past,
Is he
I was able
pandering?
to reduce Black childcare costs.
Oh, he's
by keeping them
pandering.
in half. We got to make
Kingdom,
sure
check
we
your
provide
DMs.
for childcare costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those childcare protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably
All right, give me
more
one
to be
second.
done. but we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to Black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I love the
I
blacks.
say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any Black family, first-time home buyer, should get a $10,000 tax credit to be
They
able
should
to
get a
buy
tax
their first
break
home, so
and
they can get started.
reparation.
Make sure that we're in a situation where all those Black families and those Black individuals who provided
Sounds a little like racism.
that were ballooning, that if they were
Good thing he has a microphone. How could you hear what the hell he's saying?
I want to do the 3 strikes and you're out rule again that I
if they
did.
paid their bills for
Hey,
10
FT,
years,
check the night crew chat.
their student debt, all the rest is forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for Black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right. It's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's
Here we
killing
go.
Black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled.
Yep.
They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the
President
Black
Biden is
people
just getting
is the
pummeled on
millions of
social
people
media
that
right
he's
now. It's
allowed to come in
crazy.
through the border. They're
I
taking
saw
black
Twitter lighting
jobs
them up.
now.
Yeah,
And
the
it could
fact
be
check
18,
coming in
it
live.
could be
It's
19,
good.
even 20 million people. They're taking Black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet. But
Oh,
you're
he
going to see
just said it.
something that's going to be the
Oh,
worst.
yeah.
Probably the first
Thank
time
you,
millions of
President
people have
Biden.
seen Biden live.
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why?
Jesus.
The economy was flat on its back, 15% unemployment. He
With the virus
decimated
you
the
released?
economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs.
There's no inflation for
Thousands
four
of
years.
millions
There
of
was no
jobs for
jobs,
individuals
none,
who are in
zero,
rural communities,
none.
including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance.
He's a
We have
racist.
covered, if the ACA has increased, I made sure that
I could argue they're both racist.
$8,000 per person in the family to get written
Two
off
two
for
white guys
healthcare.
calling each other
This guy
racist.
wants to eliminate that. They tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of
I
the
never
ACA
sang a
again.
Snoop Dogg
And they're
song.
going to try again
That's
if they win. We find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for
Oh, that's not a good thing, bro.
equity and making sure people have a shot.
Trump wants
He,
to cut
he wants to
There's a
yeah
lot going
defund the
on.
police dog.
And
You didn't know
inflation,
that's
he
a
caused it
Republican
by
thing.
his
ACAB,
tremendous
baby.
Wait,
knowledge.
Trump wants to defund the police? Bro,
No.
he's got my
What he's
vote.
saying.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023
Climate?
was the
What?
hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat,
Give us some money. We can
intensifying
control the
wildfires,
weather.
stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's
Colleen
climate
Noir
initiative.
just posted that
Will you
they're
take any action
Say
Colleen
as
Noir just
president to
posted that
slow the climate
they're
crisis?
using this
Let me
debate to
just go back
justify
to
running
what I
Gavin
said
Newsom.
about the police.
True.
How close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump.
Hell yeah, they
Almost
are.
every police
Yep.
group. And what he's
They
done
want
to
to
the
stay
black
alive. They don't want to die.
population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he
They don't
called
want to go
them
to jail
super
for doing the
predators.
job.
We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that.
Or
Super
locking them up or
predators was
try to
his name.
secure
And
George
he called
Floyd.
it
Crime
that,
bill.
and they've taken great offense at it. And now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina. He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones. And the biggest beneficiary are blacks. And that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever.
Let's
the
go.
best numbers.
1900. Come on. 2000. Where we at?
Much of the black
What
population.
exactly are
share.
black and
Because he's
Hispanic
done a
jobs? That's what I
horrible
want
job
to know.
for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But wait till you see these millions of people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
You've 38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate
Border
crisis?
Patrol Union just made a
I
post
want
saying, let us be clear,
absolutely
we have
immaculate
never
clean
endorsed
water, and I want
President Biden.
absolutely clean air, and we had it.
Oh, they're gonna.
We had
He's a lying
H2O.
piece of shit.
We
They're
had
gonna
the
have a
best
whole week
numbers
worth of this
ever,
shit. Talk about
and
all these lies.
We were using all forms of energy, all forms, everything, and yet during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
The problem is, I don't think Biden even realizes he's lying. I don't even think he knows that he's lying.
Anything he said is true. I've passed the most extensive.
He's just reading the teleprompter, bro. He's innocent. Grandpa at the nursing home.
In history, we find ourselves. And by the way, black colleges. I came up with $50 billion for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges.
50 million.
Because they don't
Trump
have.
gave him like 750 million
contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do.
Didn't you tell me they can't get an ID?
Get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that
they don't know how to use computers either.
I heard about that.
Done something that had the cleanest water. Cleanest
Bro, that
water.
we got range-minded podcast here. What's up, Steve?
He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it.
FT, you're pretty good at using computers, aren't you?
5 degrees Celsius.
I would hope so. It's my whole damn major.
Oh, there you go. See, debunked, Biden. Debunked.
I'm not getting a master's in computer engineering. I would hope so.
I'm sure you've probably forgotten more about computers than I've ever known.
And China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It
What
was a
Biden's
ripoff
mouth
of the
doing
United
wide open like
States.
that? He's cooked.
And I ended it because I didn't want
Bro,
to
it was
waste
like
that
he's
money
resetting.
because they treat us
That's
horribly. We were the only
Cottonmouth
ones
from
who was
the
costing
drugs.
us money.
He's
Nobody
looking
else
at
was
the
paying
time.
for it. And it was
I want to know how his eyes aren't drying out with him
everything
not
that he
blinking.
said just now. I'll give you an example. I heard him say before
Here we
insulin.
go.
I'm
He
the
got
one
some
that got
shit
the
from,
insulin down
Hunter.
for the seniors. I took
That's
care
right.
of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical programs because the migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you
There's
that. And I
there's a
want to take
post
care
from
of
Tim
people.
Pulse
But we're
that
destroying our
reposted from
country.
Kelly
They're
O'Donnell
taking
that
over
says
our
there's two
schools, our
sources familiar with the
hospitals, and they're going to
situation.
be taking over
Says that
Social
President
Security.
Biden has a
He
cold.
is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
It's Biden's flu game.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who were not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything? The United States can't get its under control. One of the largest polluters in the world, number one.
Oh my
We're
God,
making
Fitchy, I love your
significant
post.
progress.
By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We have made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate.
He might need
corps
another booster
where
shot.
Thousands of young people will learn how to.
Nah, they
deal with
did this on
this is
purpose.
Peace Corps.
They're going to
And
murder him
we're
on the
moving in
commentary in the
directions that are gonna
mainstream media.
significantly change the elements
Or
of
they're just going to
cause.
not replay this
But
and
the
they're going to
idea
copyright everybody.
that
Oh,
he
they're going to
claims that he
delete
has
it.
the biggest heart up here and he's really
It's going to
concerned
be memory hold.
about pollution and about climate.
Old
I don't see
Kamala's
any
trying to
indication of
defend
that.
Biden on
And
X
by the
right
way,
now.
with regard to
Yeah, well,
prescription drugs, one company
she ain't but
agreed
a
that they
blink
would
of the eye
reduce the
away from
price
being
to
the president of the United
$35,
States.
which I
Of
was
course
proud
she
for,
is.
one voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
Your
So
mic's been
every
cut
day,
off. Yeah.
millions of Americans struggle
Did
just
they
to
actually
make
cut his
ends
mic?
meet. For many
Yeah.
older Americans, Social
I'm
Security
telling you,
provides a critical
CNN's
lifeline.
surprising me on
President
this.
Biden, if nothing
Weren't we
is
supposed
done
to
to
drink
Social
every
Security,
time he
seniors
talked
will
into
see
him?
their benefits
I
cut
mean, he got
in
cut
just over
from Elliott
10
in his
years.
closing
Will
argument.
you name tonight
I mean,
one
I'm already 5
specific
into it, so
step
I don't
that
know
you're
what you
willing
want
to
me to
take
do.
to keep Social Security solvent?
I just keep
yes,
drinking
make
solid
sure
while
people
Biden's
pay their
talking.
fair share.
Figure I'm hitting them.
Right now,
I
everybody
mean, I
making
completely
over
took a break from my OSHA training
$120,000
for
pays
this.
6% of their income, of their
Well,
paycheck.
thanks for
Every
making
single
that
time for their
sacrifice for us,
paycheck.
Ron.
I'm the first one
You
to
have
get
no idea how
I'm
sick
18
I am
years
of
old.
that.
The
I'm
idea
literally
that
cleaning my
I'm
firearms.
I'm proposing that everybody they pay the millionaires pay 1%, 1%. So no one after
The top
not
1%
raise
pay
the cost of
50%
Social
of all
Security for
taxes.
anybody under $400,000. After
All right,
that, it began
2,000
to make
people.
the
Let's
wealthy
go.
began to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
Yeah, let's talk about the almost
So you still
30%
have
I've got to
2
pay.
seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent, but
No.
the biggest thing will be
There's nothing that
Such an idiot.
because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's
They know
plenty
it's
to cut
over.
in Social Security.
I think I can.
He's going to cut Social Security.
Yeah,
and
Robert
Medicare
F. Kennedy,
both times.
you might be able to
And
jump up there. I
if
don't
you look
know.
at the program put
But they're going to try to
forward
put Gavin
by the House
Newsom in there.
Republican caucus that he, I believe, supports is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the
Nancy's
way,
secret bit.
American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before.
You tell him, Roger.
And on the ACA, as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people,
We hit 2K yet, Kingdom?
40 million people would not have
We're 10
insurance
away.
because they have a pre-existing condition. Only thing that allows them to have that insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA.
I'm trying to
And
mimic
by the
his
way,
face.
the other thing is, we're in a situation where we talk about education for Black communities. I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year is going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden.
Yeah, he don't know what he's talking about.
I've
Good
dealt
point.
with politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face. About so many other things too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country. And they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street.
Big Mike, yeah.
And these
Everybody
people
likes
are
Mike.
living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what
Mike
he's
with
doing.
the
It's
Mike,
really coming
moose
back.
knuckle.
I've never seen such anger in our country before.
The only one that can change a tire.
The
in the White
idea
House.
that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general
He
got
was a piece
fired
of shit, probably.
because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it. Number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where
You already number two.
all these millions.
Hang on to your pronouns. Here we go.
Illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we
Biden's going to close the border tomorrow.
in the world. The reason why we have the most successful economy in the world.
You gotta lock it
We're
down.
doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession.
Hey, anybody can say anything if you pay him well
inflation's
enough.
going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst
You got a point there, Joe. You got a 100% big point there.
voted
Jill
him the worst president in the history of the United States.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of
Trump
child
was the
care, which
worst.
many American families struggle to
Oh,
afford.
you were? No,
President
you
Trump,
were.
Both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the
It's like
average
the two
cost of
Muppets
child care
from
in
the
this
Muppet
country
Show
has
that
risen
stand
to
up
more
there
than
and
$11,000 a year per
Let me
child.
tell you
For
what's
many
crazy is his
families,
account,
the
Biden's
cost of
account's
child
getting
care
tore
for
up right
two
now on X
children
because
is
somebody's
more than
continuously
their
tweeting
rent.
on it.
In
And
your
everybody's like,
second term,
if you're
what
on
would
stage,
you
who's
do to
tweeting?
make child care more affordable?
Just to go back, the general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other thing
the
is,
blank stare.
he doesn't fire people. He never fired
I can't
people.
believe
He's
I
like,
didn't
oh
fire
shit.
anybody. I did fire a lot. I fired Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot
Gotta
of the
fix
top
my
people
earpiece.
at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Not easy to fire people. You'd pay a
Where's my
price for it,
pudding?
but they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put them there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that Afghanistan
Hell yeah.
horror show, the most embarrassing
Yeah, I
moment in the
100%
history
agree
of our
with that.
country. He didn't fire. Did you fire anybody? Did you fire anybody that's on the border that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world? Did anybody get fired for allowing?
Who's gonna do? Who's gonna
going to jail like a mouse?
Who's gonna clean the toilets and mow the lawn?
Mental institutions.
Close the
Did you
border.
fire anybody?
He
that
looks like a
allowed our
scolded
country
boy
to be
right now.
destroyed?
Yeah.
Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate.
Yeah.
He's the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying
Joe
to get
is
on the
cooked.
border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit.
Isn't Trump older than
It's not.
Biden
It's
too?
No.
insignificant. He wants
He's like
open
a year
borders.
younger.
He wants our country
He's
to
like 2
either be
years younger, I
destroyed,
think,
or he
but
wants to pick
very
up those
close.
people as
But
voters.
you can't tell by looking at him.
But he's
I don't think
sentient, so,
we just can't
he's
let
way
it
better.
happen.
No, Trump
If
looks like he's
he
50
wins
compared
this
to Biden.
election,
Oh, yeah.
our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this
I think
rut.
Biden is
He does
We
$88
probably
billion
won't have a
doctors.
country left anymore.
Yeah,
That's
Uncle
how bad
Buck,
it
there
is.
won't be
He is
another
the
debate,
worst
dude. I
in
guarantee
history by
that.
far.
Well, he's listening to
Thank you,
his
President
earpiece,
Trump.
getting
President
ready for
Biden?
the next
We're the most
discussion.
admired country in the world. We're the United States of America.
Oh
There's
my!
nothing beyond our
Everyone's
capacity.
welcome.
We're
Come
the
on
finest
across.
military in the history of the world. The finest in the history of the world. No one
That's why we
thinks
gave
we're
all of
good.
our stuff away,
No
because we're
one
the
wants to
best.
screw around
Yeah,
with us.
exactly.
Nobody. Number one.
Yeah, can I get my
Number
tax money
two,
back
the
for all that
idea
shit?
that we're
I just want
talking
my
about
Apache.
worst
That's all I
presidents.
want.
I wasn't joking.
I'll
Look it
take
up.
one of
Go
those.
online. 159 or 58, don't hold me the exact number, presidential historians. They've had meetings and they voted who's the worst.
You know, Uncle Buck,
president
there's
in
been some
American
stuff
history.
posted on
One
X
for
that they're
better or
letting
worse.
this happen
They said he was
purposely
the worst in
to
all
give them a
of
reason to put
American
somebody
history.
else in
That's a
place of
fact.
Biden.
That's
To do the
not- that's not
25th Amendment on
conjecture.
old Biden.
He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted.
Oh, there's
The
some
idea
stuff
that
on
he
X
is
that's an
knowing
understatement.
doing anything to deal with
Look, I was
childcare.
trying to be nice.
He
There's a
operates
plethora.
everything up to
Yeah.
childcare.
Do you
He
know what a
should
plethora
significantly
is?
increase the childcare
It's
tax
a
credit.
sweater.
He should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go
Just
back to
remember,
work.
188
We
years
should
ago, 3
encourage
men
businesses to
saved
hold
Acapulco
to
from
Thank
El
you, President
Guapo.
Biden. President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make childcare more affordable.
Those
You wanna
daring
take that?
3 men.
Just so you understand, we have polling,
El
we have other
Guapo.
things
It's one of my
that
favorite
they rate
movies.
him the worst because what he's done is so bad.
Yeah, right
And
now
they
Joe
rate
wishes
me.
he was
I'll
the
show you.
invisible
I will show you.
swordsman.
And they rate me one of the best. Okay. And if I'm given another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple
do
and
have
all
to
these
say,
companies, they were
Trump's
bringing
hair's looking a little
money
flat
back
tonight.
into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about. He's increased the tariff. He will increase the taxes on middle class people. I said I'd never raise the
Which
taxes
one
on
was it?
anybody
He
who makes
will, he
less than
would, he did, he
$20,000.
will,
I
might
didn't.
want to one
His
day.
tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything coming in the country. You know what the economists say?
Pick and
That's
choose
going
your
to
own
cost the
adventure.
average American
Yeah.
$2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that are very important. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he has
Somebody made a
not
comment
raised.
that they're impressed with the moderators
somehow
not
helped
not
middle
interrupting
class.
too much. And
Middle
Carrie
class has been
Salone
devastated by it.
made a
Now you
comment that
want
they're
a new
giving hand
tax cut
signals
of
to
$5
Biden. They're
trillion
not
over
cutting his
the
mic.
next 10 years, which is
What do you
going
guys
to
think?
fundamentally bankrupt the country.
I
We
haven't
have the
really heard
largest
him
deficit of
overspeak
any
though.
president in American
Yeah,
history.
this
Number one.
extra
Number
advantage when
two,
he said
you
his
have
perfect
not,
case
in
scenario
fact,
is like this,
made any
he's still getting his ass whipped when he made up all the rules.
progress with China.
Yeah, and he was
We
in
had our
Camp
lowest
David for
trade
10
deficit with
days.
China since
Trump
2010.
just
Thank you,
murdered him.
President Biden.
You lost
Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an
Hey,
epidemic
Kingdom Radio,
impacting millions
check
of
your DMs real
Americans that
quick,
both of
please.
you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up.
Purdue
Under
Pharma
your
just
term,
got
it
found
went up.
guilty, and they're
Under
going to
your
pay like
term, it has
$70
gone up.
billion.
Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right
Make
now
cocaine
in the
safe
throes of
again.
addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China.
Look at his face.
He's
Afraid to
punishing
run
them.
as a Manchurian candidate. He gets money.
John
from
Rich
China.
from Big and
I
Rich,
think he's afraid
country
to deal
western
with them or
singer,
something.
says they're going to
But you
replace
notice he
Joe
never
at the
took out my
DNC.
tariffs
This is
because we
beyond
bring in so
pathetic.
much money with the tariffs that I impose imposed on
Yeah, he
China.
got ate up.
He never took them away. He can't because it's too
Nobody's
much
going to
money.
vote for him.
It's tremendous. And we saved our
His
steel
facial
industry.
expressions,
But he hasn't
his
done that.
lies.
He hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the
Uncle
worst.
Buck, I'm not sure who they're going to
the
run.
worst
There's been talks of
situation
Gavin
with China.
Newsom. They might
China's gonna
pull
own us if you
old
keep
Booty
allowing
Judge out.
them
You never know,
to
but
do what they're doing to
I
us
think
as a
they're gonna
country.
have to
They
put
are
somebody in his
killing
place.
us as a country, Joe.
Got to be
and you
Kamala.
can't
She's
let that
vice
happen.
president,
You're
right?
destroying our country.
It'll
Mr.
be
President,
Big Mike or Newsom. I don't think
left.
it'll be
The
anybody
question
else.
was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the
I don't.
throes of
I
addiction
might
right
don't
now
actually
who are
agree with the
struggling
Big
to
Mike
get the
comment.
treatment they need?
You don't think
They
so?
might
I
have
think
a
we're
better
doing
chance
very
with
well
Howard
in
Stern.
addiction until
No,
the
I said I
COVID
think
came
I agree
along.
with that.
We
Oh,
had the
I thought you
2.5,
said you don't.
almost 3
Although
years
they
like
pushed
nobody's
Hillary
ever
the
had
other day.
before,
Did you
any
notice that?
country, in every way. And then we had to get
They gave
tough.
her
No, I
And
missed
it was
that.
the drugs pouring across the border were it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers,
It's
have
not like
you
what
seen the
Dr.
numbers
Fauci
now?
did with the
It's not
Beagle.
only the 18 million people that I believe is even low because the
That makes me
gotaways, they don't
so
even
angry
talk
to this
about
day.
gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad. But the number
Just
of
waiting for Trump to
drugs
turn
coming
over and look at
across
him and
our
go, you
border
know what, I'm
now
going to beat
Trump
your
is
is
ass.
the
hammering the
largest we've
border
ever
and
had by
illegal
far.
immigration.
President
That's
Trump,
what
thank you,
everybody
President
wants to
Biden.
hear.
Fentanyl
All that
and
news went
byproducts
away.
fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure
Fentanyl,
we're
Black
using a
Lives Matter.
machine
Listen
that
up,
can
everybody.
detect
He
fentanyl.
said for a
These big
while.
machines that roll over everything that comes across the border. And it costs a lot of money. That was part of this deal we put together, this bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more be able to
fentanyl
detect
machines.
drugs, more
That's a new
numbers
one.
of
Is
agents,
that a
more
vending
numbers
machine
of
now?
all the
I'd
people.
Yes,
like to
sir.
get 7 grams,
When we had
please.
the deal done, he called his.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
let me
want to
get a
kill
lethal
all of
dose,
South
please.
Africa?
It's going to hurt
That's
me.
A3 is lethal
No,
dose.
he never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have
Asia.
the
He didn't say
technology before
China.
we put it
It's
together.
interesting.
That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now, struggling to get the treatment they need.
Well, this does pertain to it. He ended remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations
Hammering the
with
border.
Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage, we always pay $6 billion
Buy that coffee.
every
Joe
time we send a
Lanu.
hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter. I think a good guy. And he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I
Oh, there
take
you go.
office, I said by literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago. But Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where we paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump.
Hell
Dana?
yeah.
Let's turn to concerns that
The news
voters
is like,
have about
what?
each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address
Why is this
concerns
a question?
about your
Wow.
capability to
Setup.
handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
Well, first of all, I spent half my career being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States
Well
Senate,
rehearsed.
and now I'm the oldest. This guy's
That
3
means
years
he's
younger.
been a
I
career
have all this
politician.
confidence.
Boot his
I think
ass.
just look at the record. Look
Yeah.
what I've done. Look how I've
In
turned
50
around
years,
this
what have you
horrible
done, bro?
situation he left me. As I said, 15
Dropped the
million new
N-word a lot
jobs,
back in the day.
800,000 manufacturing
That's true.
jobs,
He
more
did that.
investment in America, over billions of
What were
dollars of
his words?
private
I don't want our
investment
schools to be a
in
racial jungle.
enterprises. We are growing. By the way, we brought off a lot of people.
But he was raised in a
Well,
black church,
the
right?
whole idea.
Yeah. If
Computer
you, ain't,
chips. We used to have 40%
if you don't vote for
margin.
him, you ain't black,
We
dude.
invented those chips,
That's true.
and we
He was
lost
at
it
Thelma.
because he was sending people to
Walking with
find the
Martin
cheapest
Luther
jobs
King.
overseas.
Yeah.
But I will
and
say,
they
if
had
you're
no profit.
enjoying this,
So
everybody,
I went to
Joe
South Korea.
Lanu puts
I
a lot of
convinced
work in
Samsung to
there,
invest
and
billions of dollars here in
we
the
all
United
been trying to
States.
do what we can for
And
Joe
then
Lanu.
guess what?
Just had a major
Those fabs,
surgery,
they call
so
it,
you know.
to
him a cup of coffee. You know, if you're in a Starbucks or something like that, tell him a cup of coffee. Buy Joe a cup of coffee. Great guy. Spends all his time to bring content to you. Buy me a coffee. Joe_Lanu. Buy this man a coffee. When you get in there, you think about how many coffees. It's 5 days this week. Buy him 5 coffees. Come on, guys.
President Biden, you have 40
Anybody's
seconds left.
earned it,
Would
Joe
you like to
has.
add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow
I think we got
we
8
are,
minutes left on the
this
debate.
failing country. Never heard a
It's going
president
to be the
talk like this
closer.
before.
Yeah, 2,200 people, man.
We're
Thank you
the
so
end of
much
the
for
world.
watching.
Name me
And
a
please like and
single
share. Let's
major
go.
country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities.
Hell yeah, we
We're
got
the most
plumbing.
progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us. All of our allies.
You've been saying that all night, Uncle Buck.
Those who he coddles up to, from Kim Jong-un, he sends love letters to.
Kim Jong-un, love
They
letter.
don't want to screw around with us.
Thank you.
Kim Jong-un.
Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end
Coming
of
some
your
young guy.
second term.
You're buying love
What
letters.
do you say to voters who
Joe-
have concerns about your
Joe
candidacy?
Biden likes his hair. That's why.
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests.
I'd like you to know that Andrew
Both of them, as
Yang,
you know,
the
they
Democrat
made it
rep,
public. He
has
took one. I'd like
posted
to see him take one. Just one.
DNC needs to
Real
nominate
easy.
somebody new
I
before
got
it's
through
too
the
late.
first 5 questions he couldn't do.
Ooh.
But I took 2 cognitive tests.
I do
took
think that this
physical
debate is
exams every
turning.
year. And you know,
Throwing
Yeah,
him under the
Biden
bus.
needs some
we may have
Flowberry
work.
Riz.
That I'm in very good health. I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite
Biden
smart.
shit himself.
And you have to be able to hit the ball a long way.
It's night and
And I
day
do it.
between
He
Trump
doesn't
and
do it.
Biden.
He can't hit a
Night
ball
and day.
50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as
can't even
in
bait
good
a hook.
shape
Come
as
on,
I
girls.
was
He should have pulled out a
25,
golf
30
club.
years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as
I
good a shape
understand
as
where
I
golf was
was
intended, man.
years ago.
Yeah,
I
and my
feel very good.
penis
I
is
feel the
way
same.
bigger
But
than
I
his.
was willing
Come on,
to take
girls.
a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they've never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you. President Biden?
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds.
What the hell does that have to do?
What? He's
Well,
he's
said
razzing
6'4",
up
200.
Trump.
Well, anyway, that's it. Anyway, just take a look at what he
fuck
says.
was he saying?
Take a look
I
at what
would
he
have
is.
kissed him
But
if I
I'd be
wasn't
happy to have a
gay.
driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president.
He's
I was
handicapped, that's
6.
for sure.
And by the way, I told him before, I'm happy to play golf. You can carry your own bag.
Oh, he wants to say something so bad.
I want him to fight.
Oh, he's stewing.
He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8 handicap. My ass.
But I had, you know how many?
I've seen you.
No, he had 8 handicap placards in his car.
Joe Biden's not 264.
Let's not act like
specific
Bill did.
concern that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that
Oh,
once
my.
all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election,
Hell
regardless
no.
of who wins?
What?
And you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable.
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if
Your
you would see my
ex-husband was
statements
part of
that I
the
made on
51
Twitter at the
people
time,
that lied
and also my statement
about
that I
the
made in the
plaid
Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to. And I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility,
Bam,
not
back on
mine. She
J6.
said that loud and clear.
Entrapment.
But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of
True
my
story.
many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. But the only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right
Someone
now.
gotta
We're
do
a
something
seriously
about it.
failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
Hell yeah.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing called Article 5.
He's 235,
Attack on one is attack
6'5".
on all. Required
Anyway.
response. The idea,
thing.
I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done, what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful people. It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people.
He needs a bullet,
Who can't
Joe.
do anything. They
Way to
step up
admit
and
he's
they use it.
useless.
And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because of our
Whoever
safety as a state.
prepared him for this
And
debate
again,
should be
you
fucking
wanna have
fired, dude.
war, just let Putin
No,
go
he
ahead
ain't
and
fired
take the
nobody.
heat. Make sure they move on. See what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that
It's a
border.
DHI hire
Then you have a
anyways.
war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do. Not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got
Not
along
wrong.
with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. But now he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia, because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad.
Millions.
They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous
If you work for
cities with the
CNN, how
golden
do you
domes
patch
that are
this shit up
1,000
this
years
week,
old,
dude? It's
all
terrible.
because of him and stupid
They will
decisions.
definitely have
Russia
their
would have
hands
never
full.
attacked if I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was, will you accept the results of the election?
Who said that?
Regardless of who wins, yes or no, please.
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will.
Biden can't do another one of these in a
absolutely
week.
Hell no,
rather
dude.
do.
No,
It would
he's
be
done.
much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand
That's
it.
a fact.
Yeah, they do.
When this election is over, let's see.
This
You're a
election's
whiner.
over.
When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America
Oh, this
said
is
any
supposed
of
to be
your
a
claims
talking
had
point. He
any
just talked
merit,
right past it.
state or local, none. But
Yeah, they
you
didn't want their
continue to
houses
put up
burned down
this
and
lie
looters and
about somehow there's
picketers
all this
outside.
misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all.
Stop the steal,
And I
baby.
tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea, if you lose again, you
He's
accept
trying
it
to get
anyway.
Trump all
You can't stand the
pissed
loss.
off.
Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
We'll be right
This
back
is the debate
with
bullshit.
more from the CNN presidential debate live from Georgia.
Cooked.
So Nicholas Kristof has posted, I wish Biden would reflect on debate performance and then announce his decision to withdraw from the race, throwing the choice of the Democratic nominee to the convention, someone like Gretchen Whitmer, Sheridan Brown, or Secretary Armando. So there's some names that the DNC is already starting to toss out. So I think the comments that were made earlier in the night that this might be a slaughter job to get him out might be true.
100%. The Democrats only got one home run hitter. One home run hitter. I guess it's Gavin Newsom, right? Gavin Newsom, and then he needs a big VIP, maybe Hillary. You know what I'm saying? But you want to be president with Hillary Clinton being vice president? You know, you're a gunshot away. You know what I'm saying? The Clintons got a record for that. So it's very interesting.
I think it'll be Gavin.
It's got to be Gavin, right?
That's range-minded.
Hitter. He's pretty. He's got
on the
good
way
hair.
to a gun show, bro.
No, he's there.
You're there
I'm
right
here.
now?
I am. Well, I'm not
Looks
in
like you're in the
Brownells, but I'm
hotel
in
room doing
Brownells.
some late night action.
How did you like the
What gun show
five-star
we
hotel?
talking about here?
Oh, the first hotel?
Yeah, the 5-star hotel.
Oh, bro. Like I didn't know if I was gonna get shot or raped or something, man. Like,
oh my, where are you at? I don't want
That's
to go
my
there.
kind of place.
it was where was that? Where were we?
Chuck E. Cheese.
We were in Casper, Wyoming.
The White Ghost. Oh
that,
my.
that is
Stay
as
away.
Trump would say, that's a shithole town. It's tragic what the left has done to Casper, Wyoming. It's tragic. It's a shithole. It really is.
Your facial expression, I laughed.
It's a nice hotel room. You're in a hotel room, right?
Now this is a sweet hotel room. I'm in Grinnell,
That's
Iowa.
sweet.
Right
Oh
next to
my, that's
Brownells.
nice.
It looks like a Holiday Inn.
Yeah, this is. I mean,
You're gonna get much smarter on the way out.
I don't know what it is, but they said they'll leave the light on, right?
dude, I am not
Motel
kidding
6,
you. Like,
baby. That's no
Red
lobby.
roof in.
that hotel, like it is like something you'd see in a movie. You pull up and there's like homeless people hanging out on the porch, dealers out front doing deals. Like, bro,
That's a good time.
I mean, like as soon as I walked in the lobby, I'm like,
I say I got 7 grams and a 9mm, baby.
I know.
I gotta ask, who laid down in the bed?
nobody. Luckily, I had my whoopee with me. I laid it on top of the bed. I kept my shoes on because I was not walking around on the carpet.
Hey, we don't need to be hearing about your Woody.
Yeah, no, yeah, he had his little Woody with him. Just leave it to yourself.
Kept me from rolling over.
Hey, when you went
But,
to the front desk, did they say, "Look, we rent the hotels by the hour. How many hours do you want?"
dude,
12
it
seconds.
was awful.
I'll
It
take
was
8.
awful.
We love you a long time.
There was no happy endings in that place.
So, do you think
Sounds
that
that
he's
way.
getting an injection right now, or do you think he's drinking something right now?
Oh, it's over. It's definitely 100% over. I don't understand why they even allowed him not to be drugged up in this whole situation. His facial expressions.
Dude, I think he was hopped up.
We graded the last break. What are we going to grade this one? Trump with a A+, and what do we got Biden now at? I got
Man, no, he is drugged up. That's the problem.
He's drugged up.
You
Oh,
think
my.
so?
Oh yeah,
Dude, he's rizzed. Like, there's no way he's not.
he's
drugged.
not blinking. There's no facial expressions. Dude, I'll bet you there's at points where he can taste colors. He's so hopped up right now.
Can't you tell by the blank stares when he looks at Trump's like?
He's
It's now
done.
time
Oh,
for the
here we
candidates
go.
to deliver their
Round
closing
3.
statements as predetermined
Closing
by
Hey,
a
I'm having a great time, everybody. I'm having a great time.
Biden, you have 2 minutes.
2,300 people. Thank you so much. Let's go.
He's got so much in him right now. He's going to shat himself.
Progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We find ourselves in a
He's getting worse.
situation where, number
Debacle
one,
last term.
we have to make sure that we have a fair tax.
These are closing arguments.
I ask
This is
anyone
it.
out there in the audience.
It's like
whoever
Karen
you are
Reed all over
watching this
again.
Debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said
Where's Alan Jackson? We
nobody
need Alan
making
Jackson.
$400,000 had a single penny increase in their
Cut him off.
taxes.
Cut him
And
off.
I'm not- And if I'm reelected,
You're going to have
I'll
to
do the
speak
case
up or
again.
turning off the air
But
conditioning.
This guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit.
He's going to
Number
increase
one,
your taxes
he's
because
increased
he lowered
inflation
them last
because of the
time.
debacle he left after you
We'll
pointed
yell at
hand
the
in
screen for you,
pandemic.
Fidgy.
And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America.
Tariff is not a tax on Americans,
For
homie.
example, he wants to get away with, get rid of the
It
ability
is
of
when you think
Medicare
that Mexico and
to,
China is the
for
American.
the ability
Yeah, and I heard China now is setting up
to be able to
car
negotiate
shops,
right with
electric
the
shops in
economy.
Mexico to get away
Well,
from the
guess what?
tariffs in China.
We got it.
Yeah, Trump said he's going to tax her ass anyway. He knows what's up.
$35 for
True
insulin,
story.
$400, no more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need.
What?
You know what that did?
Prescriptions?
That reduced the federal
Greg
debt
Gutfeld says,
by
Jesus, stop this.
$160 billion over 10 years.
They should have
Because the
gave
government doesn't
Biden
pay
some
the
Adderall.
majority
I don't know
taxes.
what they were
We're
doing.
going to make that available to every.
I've never
had
seen a
every
horse
bad.
get beat so bad in my life.
It's happening now, and everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to
And to think that this guy is running our country, that's the part that's scary.
Make sure we do something about.
No, that's
what
the
we're doing
CIA,
about
I believe.
lead pipes and all the things
Shadow
that are
government's taking care of
causing
it.
health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down.
I guess
inflation
AI is running
and give
everything.
people a break.
Jack,
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have
Jack
2 minutes for
Sobek
your
just said,
closing
did
statement.
Biden bring up the migrant rapes
Like
that
so
happened
many
under his own
politicians,
watch?
this man is just a complainer. He said,
Yep.
we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do, all he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look
They
like
weren't ready
fools
for all
in
this immigration
Afghanistan.
talk.
We didn't stop
There's a
Israel.
random
It was
person
such
on
a
X that
horrible
just said
thing
that my
would have
root
never
canal
happened.
today
It
was
should
less
have never
painful than this
happened.
debate.
Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with
Or
Iran,
Joe
including
Lanew's heart
China,
surgery.
they couldn't do business with the United States. They all passed.
Pretty much.
Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you.
Wrigley.
Because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president.
Somebody
and they don't
just
respect
posted, you
throughout
better
the
vote
world.
for me or you're not retarded.
What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like, even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former
And he has
President
not
Trump,
said fake
President
news yet.
Biden. Stay with us because we have full analysis of this debate.
It's
Anderson
over,
Cooper and
baby. It's
Aaron Burnett
over.
start
Lights
now
out.
on
Game
channel.
over. Joe Biden was murdered. Someone call 911.
Someone get Alan Jackson up here.
Any handshakes?
0.
That's it. And that's it. And that's it, dude. It was just like that. It was over. That was it.
Dust in the wind.
It just went black.
Was that it?
That's it.
Yeah, what about the commentary? What are they going to say? Joe Biden killed it. He called Trump suckers and losers. My son is not a sucker and loser.
Yeah,
that's true. Stand by the fire pit, bro, with the smoke in his face. You know what I'm saying? Get upwind. What are we gonna do, baby? What are we gonna do?
All right. So what do you think? I want to hear about
Biden.
this hotel where these hookers are going out of.
Right?
Okay, so you need to go back and watch his video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? What is it? Which
I
one is it?
laughed my ass off.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't sleep much.